Boop. Boop. Alright, turn that shit on. Alright. Now this is the part where everything's like just something breaks. If I call that at the beginning of every stream, then when it happens, I'll look like a genius. That's my goal. Alright. I think we got everybody. Pyro's checking his crutch collection. He's down to 1 now. I don't know, there's more in the back. What was the count last week, Jez? It was 3? No, there's 2. There's 3 now.
The third one is right over there.
The third one I see is
right
on a very horizontal slant, so I can't really see that it's a crutch. It just looks like a pole.
Well, I can't wait until we get like further into the season when there's like 20 of them.
I've got a paddle too.
I don't have anything fun around me. I have a Staples Easy button that doesn't work anymore because the battery compartment's flooded with acid.
Oh, your paddle's much nicer than mine.
Why does it have a fleur? Oh, is that like a Scouts thing? Yeah. I recognize that fleur-de-lis and reef knot.
That sounds fine, Jez.
I also have this around me.
I got like a foam one of those behind my door.
That is yours for Dark Link.
No, mine's from PAX. Have you smacked Nano in the head a few times with yours?
I think he would die.
Or it would just snap. Because those things are decorative, not meant to be used.
It wouldn't snap, but I don't think a person's body is strong enough to break it.
Oh, all I can smell is Vicks Vapo Rub. I slathered the shit out of myself before we started. As I attempt to keep the coughing at bay. What the hell do you want? Trying to start. Bother me in like 3 hours. So, we might as well get into it. Previously, on Dungeons & Dragons, the group headed to the ruined gardens of Nangalore, looking for a black orchid, so they could use it in the ritual, the Dance of the Seven Winds, that Ashara, the Aarakocra Elder, was going to perform, allowing them to fly for a bit. So they could traverse the jungles of Cholt at a much faster rate. They explored the ruined gardens, finding all sorts of things, including, unfortunately, another folding boat. God damn it. They also found some very nasty plants and came across a former queen of Omu, Zalcore, the woman for whom the gardens were built and dedicated. She is still alive, apparently, and, just chilling, hanging out in exile. They talked to her, traded her a big fat diamond for the orchid, managed to get out of there amiably and without any blows between them.
Really, that's probably like a world first.
Yeah. Well, don't worry, we're getting there.
Would have been proud.
Zalcore also happened to mention she knew of Princess Mawaksanare back at Curse of All and had some somewhat disparaging words for the princess. Once they got back, they talked to Ashara. She was going to prepare the ritual, and then Pyro, Jafar, decided to relay the queen's message to the princess, and Ashara sort of halted in her steps and is now refusing to perform the ritual so long as this threat to the princess still looms. So
you told her that she was still alive and she got all pissed off?
Well, no, they told her like about her and everything and that she was still alive and that was fine. And then like right before they started the ritual, they told her basically that like she threatened the princess, and then Ashar was like, "Nope.
Oh.
Nope, go fix that." Like how dare you leave someone who threatened the princess alive, essentially.
Pyro didn't understand that she gets what's coming to her is a threat.
Well done.
So
What?
now she's holding out as long as this threat looms. She mentioned that doing this ritual will put her in a weakened state, and she doesn't like the idea of being left in a... Oh my... What? Calm down there. Jesus. Do you only do this when I stream? Like, is that it? It's like, how does it know? So, yeah, you get the gist that, like, yeah, she didn't want to be left in a weakened state. Like, with this threat looming, you know, even if, like, the queen never actually comes or doesn't come for months or years. Yeah, she doesn't like the idea that... Essentially, Ashara had suspicions that perhaps Zalcore still loomed, or some twisted version of her still, like, lived there, that you might run into her, but she had no idea that she knew of the princess and had ill will towards the princess, and she didn't like that. She didn't like that at all. I would say you got the gist of a very protective sort of reaction out of her, that the princess's well-being seems to mean an awful lot to Ashara.
Honestly, that came as a surprise.
So the only thing I want to ask Ashara is ask her if she knows why the queen was exiled.
She tells you, as I smash my mouse with my phone, she tells you that the queen was exiled hundreds of years ago, and it's sort of it's hard to say why. I'm not sure she would actually know that.
I mean, it's fine if she doesn't.
Yeah,
It's just best to know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she knows that Zalcore was a queen before the fall of Omu. So back when Otamu was... not Otamu.
Ooptao.
Ooptao. There's too many names like that in this area. Yeah, when
Ooptao's
Ooptao was still... Before he left and shunned Omu and the rest of Chult, she was queen during that time, and then exiled to Nangalore, which she tells you was called Ka Nanji originally.
That's what Nangalore was?
Yeah, Nangalore was once known as Ka Nanji. It was called the Hanging Garden of Dreams. And then after the queen was exiled there, and Omu fell, and the thing fell into ruins, it became known as Nangalore, the Garden of Lost Dreams.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm assuming that Nangalore means nightmares. But that's close.
But yeah, she suspects that she must be a being of some power or evil to have been able to keep herself alive for so long.
We know that much. Jafar managed to figure that out.
No, you need more ammo shame.
And
I mean,
you
we
guys
figured it
know
out.
that Jafar was able to tell you that she is not an undead either. So she has managed to
Or
keep
a
herself
fiend.
alive through some other means.
Connor,
Okay.
she's probably not human either.
What gave
Ashara?
that away?
Ashara's a bird.
No, not Ashara.
Oh.
The queen. Queen's dead.
Well, she tells you that she was once human.
Yeah.
She
All right.
asks, like, humans don't live that long, right? Bark!
Bird people don't live long either. They're really short. Anyways, we need to deal with this.
Get
situation.
walking.
Yeah.
Another 5 days back to Nangalore.
Hopefully.
Well, I'm going to... if you guys are heading back to Nangalore, I'm going to forego.
Treaded a path.
Yeah, you guys could just. You guys know the way real well by now. You just walked there and back, so I'll just kind of give you the getting to Nangalore for free. So, if that is where you're heading, then 5 days pass, and you guys make it to the Gardens of Nangalore. You are sort of on the outskirts of the gardens, 50 feet away, 100 feet away, give or take. You're well outside the gardens at a point where you can see sort of the whole thing. And it
Do we
looms
see
and
any crocodiles? Crocodigators, whatever we were calling them last time.
crocodiles, aladiles. There do not seem to be any. You see a couple like rotten ones kind of bobbing around on the surface. They look sort of. You basically see the carcasses of like 2 or 3, the ones that you probably fought the last time you were here.
They look about 10 days old.
Yeah, they look about 10 days old, and they also look like they've been picked pretty clean by various other, what have you. Fish, insects, birds, anything nearby that will eat crocodigator.
We know where she's at. But what I would suggest is, do we want to make a ladder? And just go up the wall.
May as well.
Yeah. That
Why do you need a ladder?
Because we're not.
Because
fighting
we
those
don't want to
flowers
go
again.
through a certain place in
Okay,
this
fair
place.
enough.
They had a bad experience with some plants.
Yeah, wasn't
We
great.
all-
Everyone
we
got
all
knocked
experienced what
unconscious
it's like
except for
when
me.
you roll a crit fail.
Yeah. The flowers were putting everybody to sleep. Except for Jez and Ashara? Or not Ashara,
Yeah,
Zaka?
Zaka.
But Zaka got the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
As soon as combat started, she ran.
So
She
what I
ran
want to
up
do,
the stairs and shot at them.
I want to make like a 25-foot ladder
Yep.
with spiked ends so I can stab it into the ground and it doesn't move.
Sure. Do you have a climbing kit? By any chance?
Not a climbing kit. I just want to make a ladder.
Yeah, but if you want spiked ends,
Sticks.
you need spike. Wow, I guess okay. You could use
No,
stick.
I just sharpen
Just
the end
sharpen
and
the
stab it into
stick.
the ground.
Oh, you want to actually build a real ladder?
Yeah.
I thought you meant like a rope ladder out of your rope.
No.
Okay.
A real ladder. 'Cause that way we can put it up there rather than
Give
having
me
to...
a ladder making check.
I don't have that as a skill.
Yeah.
Then
Shame.
you're fucked.
That's a shame. Now the DC's 75.
But that... Can I make it with Tinker's tools?
Give. What would this be? Give
There's
me
an entire section in Xanathar's Guide.
for dicking around with shit like this.
Yeah.
It's too bad I haven't read my Xanthar's Guide yet. I don't know. Give me a dex. Give me a sleight of hand check. I'm gonna check your knots and your ladder craftsmanship.
Damn.
Those took forever to show up.
Yeah, it took a while for me to show up to.
Yeah, it took a while for me too.
Yep. You spend about an hour or so collecting big tree branches and other like chunks of trees and stuff like that and sticks and fasten yourself a very sturdy ladder. You're able to do so, like make something that'll hold up real well using the least amount of rope possible.
So, well, even if we use rope that we have to cut, we can always just mend it back.
Well, you would have cut like every rung essentially, like tied each rung out of like little chunks of rope.
But, I mean, we could then untie it and then make it
Yeah.
a full rope with mending. So
Fucking
where I
magic
think we
users.
should put it is right next to that big crack in the wall.
Okay. On the eastern wall, essentially.
Yeah.
The eastern tall wall. Okay. Yep.
Basically right where we need to go, but we don't want to go there yet, I don't think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanna
You lean your
propose-
ladder up, and yep. So you got a
I
ladder.
propose that we find out what the fuck we're dealing with first.
Yeah, we gotta go
Exploring
to
this
that.
place.
We gotta go
Big
to that big dome.
Yep. So you guys head up the ladder. You are now up on top of the high eastern wall of the garden. The wall is about 30 feet wide, traverses about 150 feet from north to south. At the south end, there's a little gazebo, sort of enclosed gazebo type thing. At the north end is a large, pretty intact domed structure about 50 feet in diameter. That domed structure, as the sort of the little room that Zalcore lives in. And this wall also leads to a center wall that leads you right to the large center dome in the middle of the gardens. Traces of gold-colored plaster still cling to this dome in a few spots, but everywhere else you see old weathered bricks, more than a few of which have fallen through. The larger-than-life life-size elephant carvings and the graceful towering spire are still magnificent sights, even if their glory is dimmed by time and decay. Talking with a cough drop in my mouth is difficult. I need to stop doing that.
We'll point out the dome that's intact is where the queen is.
Yep.
Oh,
Queen Z.
hopefully she's still there, but she doesn't seem to move. And we want to go into the big dome that we've sort of seen into.
Yep. So.
Have we?
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
I
There's
saw
like
that there were giant
a statue.
statues.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's broken.
So essentially, the dome, like the big center sort of palace type thing, is like a big rectangular domed area. It looks like it's going to be about the side you're facing. It looks like it's about 60, 70 feet wide by probably 80 feet long. So it's kind of like a rectangle shape. And there is a set of stairs that lead up and into the palace, the center palace. There is no doors. The stairs just lead up and straight in. So the doors are either open or do not exist anymore. You can't be sure from this angle.
Or they're invisible.
Or they're
The worst of
invisible.
all three.
I'm
So
not
let's-
sure if it'd be that.
Let's
Oh, I gotta pull up
quietly
Zuckus.
make our way to it and peer in to make sure this.
Quietly is not gonna happen
Quietly.
for me.
Yeah,
Well-
right?
I'll sneak up quietly and peer in to make sure there's nothing in there first.
You want me to do it? You're not very observant.
No.
Okay. If
Well,
you
we can
insist.
both go up. You can sneak up too.
Alright.
Yep. So, you guys start sneaking up the stairs and into the dome. Wacky kind of creeps in, and then Jez kind of kicks a big rock at the top of the stairs, and it's kind of not very loud, but kind of quietly just like tick, 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 down like each one of the stairs until it reaches the bottom, like lands at Dusty's feet. As you step into the ruined palace, you see an 18-foot tall statue of a Chultan warrior in splint armor, wearing a helmet festooned with Tyrannosaurus teeth and bearing a shield of intricately patterned leopard hide, towering over the chamber and looming above a wide octagonal cistern. The chamber echoes with the sound of rainwater dripping from the ceiling into the gaping pit. The face of the giant warrior statue is obliterated by deep gouges, but the rest of the statue remains intact. Clutched in the statue's right hand is a stone spear, and resting on the floor beneath it is a clay urn. North of the statue is an open balcony overlooking a flooded garden. Standing to one side of the giant warrior is another statue, this one much smaller. Exquisitely lifelike, it depicts a man reaching for the urn, his face turned towards the balcony, and in his lifeless eyes you see terror. Stone steps ascend along the curved wall to the level of a second floor, but that floor is almost entirely collapsed. Someone's been up there, though, because a message of some sort is scrawled across the domed ceiling.
Is this incredibly lifelike statue also incredibly human-sized?
Yep. Seems about the size of an average human.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Can you read that writing on the ceiling?
On the ceiling?
Was it on the ceiling?
So you find some writing on the ceiling. You also notice some writing at the foot of the life-sized statue. You can also kind of make out that there's some writing along the back side, sort of the back of the head of the giant statue as well. It all seems to be old Omuan.
I'm gonna have trouble reading anything that I can't touch.
So the stuff up in the dome ceiling, you could get to it if you, but you're gonna have to go up the steps and go up there. You can't really make it out from here.
Yeah, but I just figured. It's not that I can't make it out. I actually have to touch it.
Yeah.
Wow, we have a guy who knows levitate, don't we?
So I'll basically be a window washer.
You want me to levitate you in?
Well, let's look. Can we see where the lifelike statue is looking?
It is looking
Like it's
towards
looking up
the
to the balcony?
yeah. There's a large balcony to the north that leads to a large flooded garden. The flooded gardens is essentially at the north end of the gardens, basically between Zalcore's dome and the dome on the northwest corner, so like the top left corner. So this flooded garden seems to go between those two fancy domes.
Okay,
Well,
but we see
The left dome is not quite so
we see that
fancy
the
anymore.
balcony's clear though.
Yep.
Okay.
There appears to just
Well-
be some rubble.
Let's,
A lot of the ceiling and like the second floor has caved in. It looks like once upon a time, the second floor mezzanine probably it was just a mezzanine that went 3/4 of the way around. Basically everything but the south wall, but most of
then
that's
there's-
collapsed.
Okay.
And then chunks of the roof have also collapsed.
Then
This thing has not held up too well.
I will
Look at those dice.
cast my spell from here.
Yep.
The comprehend languages,
Yep.
and then like looking at Sharon to give the go ahead to go forward. And when he does, I will go check out the closest writing that near the lifelike statue.
Okie dokie.
I'll
The very obviously not a real person, totally
So-
carved out of statue.
I'll
So-
sort of beckon Dado and Pyro over and walk in.
I
So-
will walk up the stairs.
So, scratched into the floor are the words, "Once a thief, forever a slave." Next to the lifelike, human-sized statue. That seems to be depicted looking towards the balcony in terror. I mean, it's such a strange thing to commission a statue to do.
Yeah.
Some people have really weird taste.
I feel like this writing is more about the statue than it is about.
Why would you commission a statue of a thief? That's weird, too.
I imagine she makes them really quick though.
How big is the urn?
It's pretty big. It's probably about 1.5 feet tall. Give me an investigation check. Or give me a
Is it
history
good?
check.
Okay.
Investigation, whatever. Good
They're
enough.
both
Well,
in. So they
It's
might be
close
same.
enough. So you believe that this is probably about the size and shape of a burial urn. So, like, if someone was, like, buried or cremated and stuff like that, this is, like, the type of size of and
Yeah.
style of urn you would put their ashes in.
Is there a lid on it?
There indeed is a lid on it.
Okay. I don't know where I
That's-
was going with that. I just wanted to know.
Best
Okay.
guess, that's probably the king's ashes. Other best guess, this guy was trying to steal the king's ashes.
Well,
And
you
They made
feel that
statues
this it's not a king. It was the general
Oh, it's
that
a
Therotea?
yeah.
yeah,
name was?
I thought that
Yeah,
was
based
the king.
on sort of what you guys have figured out the last time you were here, and that you believe this is probably a statue of Therotea.
Oh, I thought he was the king. That's my
Now
point.
he was the queen's lover, and like he was a Omu general
He's
and in
pyro.
love with the queen,
Yeah, but
and
pyro's
built.
key.
He was the one that built this entire place in her honor for her.
Just think, pyro. Just think, Jafar. You could build places like this.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna hold my head, just like.
you can go back to Neverwinter and build a gigantic gardens for Mawaksanare.
No.
And
Thanks.
and she'd love it so much, she'll put like a 20-foot statue of you right in the middle of it.
I'm gonna silently gag.
And then a smaller statue of someone trying to steal your ashes.
Yeah.
I'd rather not be ashes.
You can
Alright.
build a statue.
So you also notice there's some letters carved into the back of the head of the statue.
And can I reach that from the balcony?
Yeah, you'd have to go up there. You can also reach the other one too, but it's like you can reach the one sort of on the ceiling. It's not like way up in the ceiling. It's up on the second floor essentially.
Like more than 5 feet away?
Well, wow, it's within. It looks like it was carved probably from the mezzanine. So you have to
is
go
this-
up.
It look scrawled in with the similar penmanship as these on the floor. Like it's not professionally carved lettering. It's
Yeah, no, it looks like
Graffiti.
it looks pretty similar to all of this writing seems to be pretty similar.
then I will let them know. I'm gonna go upstairs to read what's on the back of the head. By the way, this one says once a thief, forever a slave.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I don't think it's a real statue.
So as you move,
Yeah, we'll give that away.
as you move up the blah, 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 blah. As you move up the stairs to the mezzanine, I need a dexterity something or other. Dexterity saving throw. No, sorry, I need a dexterity acrobatics check. As
For
you
everyone?
attempt to move up.
No, just him.
As you attempt to move up the stairs. So yeah, you carefully maneuver around some very precarious looking spots. Like as you kind of step and poke at certain areas, like bits and pieces of the mezzanine crumble away beneath your feet. But you manage to eventually sort of slip and snake your way around. And you can now...
Snake.
Yes, snake. You can now read the text on the wall.
Yeah, I'll skip the wall first.
Or the head. The head's just a little further down, but so
How
the
high
wall.
up is he right now?
Hmm?
Just how high up is he?
Wasn't it like 10 feet?
About 20. No, you're probably about 20 feet up.
Okay.
So
Continue, sorry.
so the scroll, the long scroll on the wall says, "True love, faithful general, safe you will rest in Nangalore eternal. None will disturb you while I live. Such is my vow of penance, and for my sins I cannot die."
Okay. Definitely the general's ashes. And also, he can't die while he's here. I don't know if that's just poetic writing or literal.
Now you imagine that the whoever's guarding the ashes, the person that loves the general, cannot die.
Yeah. I just don't know if it's poetic that they can't die or literal.
I'm gonna be like, that giant statue's gonna attack us if we try to touch the ashes, isn't it?
Nope.
I mean, you saw what happened to that guy.
That guy was afraid of something up here.
So
The giant
You're-
statue's up here.
you're able to sort of wander around. So you kind of like wander a little bit further along the mezzanine to the statue. The statue's held up pretty well. It's clearly weathered, and like there are bits and pieces that are kind of cracked and broken, but for the most part, it's pretty much intact, except for the face. The face is like unrecognizable. Like it's just been gouged and scratched to pieces.
I'm getting a very bipolar
And
vibe.
written in Omuan text on the back of the head, you see that it says "Forgive me."
Oh. I think she killed him. The text on the back of his head says, "Forgive me." And I think she killed him, and now she's sad because of it.
But why would she destroy the face of the Well, and then I
Probably
guess we don't know
because
if
so
it's
she
her.
didn't have to look at him anymore
Well,
out of guilt.
you do
Or-
also remember finding text earlier
Yeah.
that claimed that
He was
he
traitor.
betrayed her.
Yeah. So, like I said, love-hate relationship. Scratch face. Is
Maybe
probably
she
the-
checked his phone and found out that he was on Chilton Tinder.
Yeah. He was tweeting with Luxonari's great grandmother.
Or great grandmother.
So the person she thinks she's seeing is probably him.
I think so.
So this seems to be all the useful information you can glean from the text in here.
Yeah.
So other than this, you just see the rest of the room. It's mostly rubble. The weird little life-size statue, and a big pit in the middle, a cistern. It's about 20 feet deep. The sides are just bare smooth and kind of slimy. And then it seems to be there collecting rainwater. And you imagine
There's
that
that
this
gross
is what
water.
you may imagine that this is what drains out of that Tyrannosaurus head that pours down the main street where you first came in.
Mm-hmm. There may be something in there. But we had one of these statues at my place, but it turned out to be my great
Yeah, I was gonna say the big
Grand-aunt.
one or the little one.
the little one. It was my great granddad, and that was because of magic. But I don't know if she's that big of a spellcaster.
Know of any monsters that could do this to people?
I probably don't. What would I-
Dusty?
What is it, Dusty?
Wait, I'm thinking. Let me get on that with thinking.
Probably was going to ask you for Arcana, but Arcana is probably even higher, so a 25 will
It's about the same, probably.
do. So
It's
you
above
know,
7 modifier.
so thinking, sort of going through things in your memory, you know there are creatures that can petrify living creatures into statues. Creatures like cockatrices, which are big turkey things that peck at you and turn you to stone. It's one of those could cause something like this. You've also heard tales of creatures known as Medusas that are essentially they are immortal beings cursed that anyone that look upon their face turns to stone. So they're from what you remember from ancient lore and that, Medusas are usually, because they're immortal and so horribly cursed, they usually live in exile. And
Usually live with their faces covered.
and you more often than not, it's not something they're born with, it's a curse that they bring onto themselves.
Maybe it's
I-
Maybelline.
Yeah, maybe. It's something that they seek out as a means to live forever or to possibly atone for a past sin. Things like that.
Right.
Oh, that sounds very familiar.
Good. I think we
what
have
is
an
our
idea of what we're dealing
purpose
with.
as to exploring this particular region?
Finding all this out.
Nangalore is where the flower was.
Well, No. We're exploring this section because I figured we wanted to know what we were up against before we just fucking punched it.
Punched what? The
The
statue?
The queen.
No,
The-
the queen.
the
Oh,
queen.
yeah.
The thing that you possibly may suspect is a Medusa.
Yeah. The thing that keeps their face covered has been living forever.
And
And and
And it's
the
probably not a
queen-
basilisk.
The fake queen had a thing.
That it could also she could also be a basilisk. That's another one.
She
Dusty brings that up
Yeah,
like
the
halfway
male
through the
one.
conversation. She's like, "Oh, basilisk. Could be a basilisk."
her face was completely covered, so we didn't see
Okay.
it at all. I didn't sense any writhing snake hair, but
Pyro was able to tell that she was evil, definitely evil, but she did not.
wasn't.
Did not sort of pop up as a fiend or an undead when he used his detect good and evil
Might
bullshit.
what
Divine
classification is a Medusa?
Monstrosity?
With that history check, you know that Medusas they're monstrosities. So you know that they typically gained their power through a pact with devils or demigods.
Okay.
Now, do you know if
How did you get that
their
piece of garbage?
turning people to stone thing is because they looking at you or you looking at them?
Dusty got a good enough roll. Dusty's able to sort of he waxes poetic about everything he knows about Medusas, and he's able to tell you that it's basically looking into her eyes is what causes it. So looking at her face and being able to see her eyes, you would, in game terms, have to make a saving throw or begin turning to stone. Dusty can also tell you in combat terms, you could, at the very start of your turn, you could declare that you are looking away from her. And then for the rest, until the beginning of your next turn, you do not have line of sight and you cannot see her. She's essentially invisible to you. But that will keep you from, having to make the check to not turn to
It's-
stone.
Like when we fought that Hulk horror.
Um,
way back then.
What's the best way to go about killing one of these things? Would you have any idea?
I think it's just stab it.
I'll say Dusty
Don't look
Dusty
at it.
knows that her gaze does have a range to it, but he is unsure of what that is. Having never fought a Medusa himself that he's aware of. So, like, if you looked at her from, 200 feet away, there's a good chance it's not going to work.
Right.
It's like, is she
Right.
looking at us?
So
I can't tell.
Our best guess is our best plan would be to lure her out into the open. That way, ranged people can be far enough away. But she's also in a tiny room.
She's also in a tiny room. That's about 50 feet in diameter, give or take. Technically 40 feet in diameter.
Do we know how fast a Medusa could move?
I mean, she's only a humanoid, probably about as fast as any of us, right?
Maybe a little bit faster, but
Sorry, not humanoid. We just said she's a monstrosity. I'm an idiot.
I mean, she's like beetle.
I'll say Dusty's not aware of anything mentioning them having any kind of supersonic speeds or anything crazy. Whether she's faster than you guys are, who knows? She could be slower, she could be faster. But he doesn't think he's ever heard anything about, oh yeah, no, they run like cheetah. And they can overtake you in 10 meters.
What if I shine out my shield real good?
Yeah, right?
What are the odds of me having a mirror in my disguise kit? Or just having a
Very
mirror?
high,
Yeah.
I feel like.
That'd be very easy to check because I believe the contents of the disguise kit are actually written out.
Yeah, you can find it in Roll20 even.
That would be under the equipment tab.
Disguise kit.
You're probably gonna find it before I do.
Touch of cosmetics, hair dye, and small props.
There you go.
That doesn't help.
No, it
Do we
doesn't.
even know if a mirror will work?
Well, it's whenever a creature meets its gaze. I don't know if it's immune to its own gaze.
That's a good question. Dusty didn't read that chapter.
Nope.
I don't think too many people probably know.
I don't know. The statue might know. Just have to ask it.
How far are we from what's her face?
Medusa? Queen Z?
Yeah.
Queen Z?
She's in,
You're
like, a solid
probably like 100 some odd feet away.
Oh, so she's right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
she's
in the
in
other
that intact
dome.
Yeah, sort of back out the way you came and up the road a little bit is an intact dome with a closed door, and they would have pointed that out when you got here. Like, that's where she is.
I literally
Just
did.
Oh.
Like, not
Like,
even.
she's not. You don't think that unless she's lurking somewhere, like nearby, she's not within earshot of you.
Investigation
thing
or
also.
perception check.
It comes here.
Nice, got it.
That Medusa watch.
You hear nothing but typical sounds of the jungle. You probably hear a bunch of bird cawing. You probably hear some of that, and some monkeys chittering.
Do I hear the monkeys?
They all sound the same. It's weird.
Yeah,
Did
they're bird monkeys.
Can I take a second to listen for any water splashing noises?
Sure.
Oh shit! I got disguise kit still open. Jesus Christ!
There seems to be one in the big domed thing with you. It's echoing off the dome. So besides the calls of the bird thing in the dome with you, yeah, you hear like drips and drops as rainwater from the ceiling is like dripping down into the cistern in the middle.
But not like.
And you probably hear a little bit of water flowing from the cistern out the pipes to the front of the gardens, but other than that,
nothing behind.
you don't hear footsteps in the water or whatever you're specifically looking
I'm
for.
thinking more along the lines of in that drowned courtyard behind the place that I'm at.
Oh, you don't hear anything. If you want to take a closer look, like, because you guys really haven't gone out onto the balcony to look at the watery courtyard. You've all been sort of sticking in here.
Against my better judgment, I will look.
Okay. So, you walk out to the back of the balcony, and at the foot of the balcony is basically to where the water comes. The water in this pool is unusually clear. A dozen or more large fish, turtles, and lizards swim lazily through it, and water birds paddle on its surface. Their ripples obscure something on the bottom of the pool, so you can't quite make it out. But the bottom appears blanketed in oddly shaped stones. Bits of shattered stone rest atop a square dais that rises from the middle of the pool, evidence of a sculpture that once stood atop it. Part of the sculpture lies in the pool west of the dais, a large stone face staring up at the sky.
Do I have a feeling that the unusually shaped stones at the bottom are likely debris from the statue?
You would have to go in there and check them out. You don't think so? Kind of based on some of it could be, but
They're too small to be random debris.
There's quite a bit of like it's like the water's kind of all churning from the wildlife, so it's really tough to see like what it is. The face on the statue does look familiar. It seems to be a very large, detailed depiction of Queen Zalcore.
Okay. This is what she should look like.
Maybe she still does. You guys haven't seen her.
What's her face look like? What's her expression? I just Probably nothing because there's nothing.
I would say it basically a neutral expression.
Yeah.
Um, just like a very baseline, like you would expect from a typical sculpture, just a straight, just neutral face.
Just so you know, the statues at the start of this place were all of her with different expressions. That's why I asked. So you don't get confused. Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't seem like there's anything but real animals.
Real animals and a whole ton of
The
rocks.
statue and rocks.
Whole ton
I'll
of
have to check
weird
it.
shaped rocks.
What if she collects diamonds?
I can also tell you that the water does not look particularly deep. The water's probably 4 feet deep or so.
How
Okay.
far away is the water?
It's 4 feet deep, and then the big huge pile of rocks looks like it comes to about 2 feet from the surface.
Was there a way to this water from downstairs?
No.
So we'd have to go out.
You just climb over the balcony. It's essentially at the floor of the balcony. So like
Oh.
this
So it's
it looks
raised.
like this
I
was
thought it
probably no, this probably was once another beautiful garden, and it's just become flooded over the years. Looking to the left and right, you see that there's a set of stairs that lead into Zalcore's dome. Off to the right, and then off to the left, there's a completely ruined and collapsed set of stairs that lead into the ruined dome in the top left.
We want to go check out the ruined dome.
Does it look like we can get into the ruined dome, or is it like completely blocked?
It is still somewhat intact, but there's chunks of the ceiling missing. You would have to go back out. There was a closed set of doors leading
In the big
out
dome.
of the big main area.
Yeah.
Sort of back and then over to that other dome, mirroring the area that you climbed up with your ladder. Like essentially the garden
Yeah.
is completely symmetrical down the center. So whatever is on the right side is identical on the left.
At this point, I'll go back down to them, and I want to mention to Dusty, just so he knows, that on the left side of this building, like not this building, but the overall compound, there was a really webbed up statue. So there's possibly giant spiders that we have not seen. Just a note.
Just in case you weren't enjoying your time here in Nangalore, just give you something else to look forward to.
Yeah.
It has been 2 days since our last spider attack.
Well,
It's been 10 days since our last El Mirage sighting.
Your last El Mirage sighting.
So what do?
yeah, that's the question, isn't it?
Mhm.
I think we're best to. I doubt there's going to be anything of note in the other tower, but we might as well check it out while we're here. But I can't see any way to fight her without having to get into her room and look away.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's the problem.
'Cause
Okay, by tower
sure-
you mean the
I'm sure my
dome that's
shield-
across from hers?
yeah, the
Okay.
ruined one that's out the left door.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Left if you're facing north.
So you try the doors on the opposite end of the large domed chamber, and they seem to be rusted shut. Like, you pull on them, and they don't seem to give. Doesn't feel like they're really locked. It just feels like, over time, like all the hinges and everything have just completely rusted shut.
Any WD-40?
Smash them open. What are you doing?
We don't want to make that much noise.
Oh yeah, okay. Then I will not roll that strength check. I was right about over.
Pyro's got the shoulder down, and he's like ready. He's like
Like,
almost
That's what-
about to charge.
that's what she did to someone trying to steal the king's, the general dude's ashes. if we're starting to break this place.
I like to think that like Pyro probably got like a running start, and as he was like, "No, we don't want to make noise," he just like realized that, and then just slowed down into like a walk and just like casually walked it off, like he was just like walking over to see you guys. It's like, oh yeah, no, of course.
And the stairs were
I'm
ruined.
gonna see.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do a
We
performance check of that. See like
We
how.
could we
I
could
stumbled.
check it out afterwards, and at that point we don't care.
Hmm.
Also, I think because if someone was looking to steal those ashes, there might be something in there.
Sure, maybe she just really liked him. I mean,
Yeah,
we
but
can check.
no.
Like,
Why
I'm not
someone
opposed to it.
wanted to steal those ashes? It's not about her wanting to protect them. It's about
Alright,
why that
we can
guy
check.
versus like
Maybe there's
this
plate
guy.
armor in there.
Maybe.
It's big enough.
No, it wouldn't be plate because the statue is clearly covered in splint armor, so
Eh,
there might be splint armor in there.
how
Okay.
good is splint armor? Not good as plate.
Better
You
than
imagine that
chain.
any splint armor that manages to fit inside this urn is probably not all that good.
Hey, it's splint. You could just roll it up.
Alright, we can check out the urn then.
We want to
Correct
open
that
it
shit.
No,
right
no,
now,
no,
or
not-
do we want to go
not
kill
now.
it first?
Not now, okay, fine.
I think we should deal with it after, because we don't want to mess with that and then be ambushed. We want to
Hmm.
deal
We wanna
with
do the
what we know
ambushing.
of. I don't think it's going to be that great of an ambush. Considering we can't see her.
As long as she has her like mask on, we're fine.
Can we cast invisibility with our eyes? On her eyes. We just
That
can't.
would just make your eyes invisible. I wouldn't.
Can we just
Yeah,
like
but then
You
the
would
light
still be
doesn't
able to
reflect-
see out of them.
The light doesn't reflect off it.
Restrained creature.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if we start dabbing, she's probably gonna take that veil off, so.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And when that happens, then we're gonna be in trouble. I don't suppose any of us have
That's
any way
when-
of curing petrification.
When a creature that can see the Medusa's eyes starts its turn within X amount of feet of her, that is when the saving throw is made.
do we know what kind of saving throw it would be?
To not turn into stone, you suspect it would test your constitution.
So I'm good. You guys all
Probably
failed the
not.
flowers. Well, except for Dado.
Out +2s. Remember, you will get +2s.
So, what we should do, maybe. I don't want to keep talking because I'm talking a lot.
That's okay. I'm not in the mood of talking tonight.
I wasn't here last week, so context is lost on me.
I mean, you pretty much got all the context of what we're gonna do. Medusa, killer.
Do it! Just do it!
So, I think what I'm gonna do.
Or fucking cut a head off a
Probably-
statue and bring it back and be like, look, we did it.
We should go in with our eyes averted, like looking at the ground or something.
I'm 80. I can't see shit anyway.
Cataracts. I don't know. I think we should just do it. There's nothing that we can plan for. Dusty, do you know
After she
How
was
to
so friendly to
cure-
all of you.
I
petrification?
know.
Dusty,
Can I
I-
cure?
I will say that Dusty knows that, because of his earlier role, he knows that it would take a greater restoration spell
Oh shit.
to unpetrify somebody.
Mm,
Oh no.
not have that.
None of us are gonna have it for a while.
Oh,
rip. Let's all
So-
just like. It means we just can't look at her the entire
Yeah.
time.
we have to not look at her. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Almost to the point of blinding ourselves.
We just
don't-
keep our eyes
That's what we gotta
closed.
do then.
I suddenly really don't want to fight her.
Hey, you can just stand outside the doorway and shoot in, as long as she's in the middle.
Yeah, as long as she's in the middle.
As long as she's
And as long as I can shoot past you guys all bunched up on you, right?
well, considering it's a stairwell up into her area too, like the pretty much unless she's like right in front of the door, that's probably the only place that she'd be able to
Yeah.
see her.
That's the problem.
So if you could get her to stand right in the doorway, then that would totally work.
Well, if it was us we were fighting, that would be no problem at all.
Okay, well,
We could potentially levitate her.
Does it have to be a willing target?
I think it does.
There's a save if they're not willing.
So she's going to float a few feet off the ground.
Then she can't move any closer, and she's stuck there. And with no way to push up against the walls, she's stuck in the middle.
Well,
Then we just
once she's
pepper.
levitating, she can use her.
No, the levitator can move. The levitatee.
That might work.
Oh,
Or if
I'm
they
not
have,
used to people bothering to use levitate as an offensive spell.
or if they have something to push off against.
That could work. We could levitate her and
So-
we'll just go ham on her.
You could also like pull her out of the building. No, she can get stuck on the doorway.
You clarify. You want to levitate her
Into the
I-
air.
to the
We
air
want to try to levitate her.
so that she can't look at you on the ground.
No, it's so that,
So that
we
she
can be
can't
far
move.
enough away and pepper her with other damage spells.
Oh, with range spells.
Yeah.
But if I'm holding her there,
I don't think
Levi-
it uses your action, just your concentration.
No, it's levitate's a concentration spell.
Yeah, but it doesn't use his action to keep it up.
No,
So
he
you
can
still
use
cast
his
it.
action to move the target. So it would cost his action to move her around while she's levitating, as long as he's within
Right.
60 feet of her.
But
He
you
could like
basically pick
float
off
her
the
like
ground.
20 feet over to the left or something like that.
You could pick her off the ground, and then still cast your cantrips or your other spells that don't use concentration.
Yeah, anything that is not a concentration.
okay. What's the range on her gaze?
We don't know.
We don't
Oh, we
know.
don't know. Okay. I feel like it's probably 60 feet, possibly
What
even
is-
longer.
And that's levitations as well.
Well, levitate 60 feet.
Yeah.
You are blocking my monitor, kitty.
Okay, yeah, I guess that would mess everything if
Well,
Well,
Now doesn't have to
I
look at
he
her
does.
while
I don't
levitating
think he
her.
has to be.
he has to look at her to cast it on her.
That is, well, yeah, but I mean, I think the
Do it before she takes her veil
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if he floats her, I don't think he has to stay within 60 feet to keep her floating. It's just if he wants to move her around, he has to be with it. Because it says you can use your action to move the target, which must remain within the spell's range.
Well, after she's levitated, he doesn't have to look at her. So if her veil's on, then he can be
Then
levitated.
he can just be like, ah!
and then look away. Blind firebolt. Yeah.
This is probably our best
Otherwise,
shot.
you can use your action to move the target, which must remain within the spell's range.
So he may need to. You know what? Because of that, he probably does have to remain within 60 feet of the target to keep her levitating.
Like if you move past
He doesn't
it,
have to look at her.
she would fall.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he doesn't. And it's not eating up any more of his actions or turns or anything like that.
Okay.
Honestly, blind firing a fireball would probably be a lot more beneficial than blind firing a firebolt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So I'm gonna be of absolutely no help.
why? You have the best range cantrip.
Also,
I mean, we
just
can do
blind
that.
firing
I
it, so I'm
can.
probably gonna be missing a lot.
Yeah, but
So are we all.
you can be further away than 60 feet.
Yeah.
Not that I think that'll help much because I'm gonna have to be inside the dome to fire anyway. Like unless
Do we know what
unless
kind
you
of a
levitate her
check?
to like the stairs where I could see her.
Levitate?
No. What
Constitution.
kind of check? The stone gaze potentially.
Constitution.
Oh,
Constitution.
They're both Constitution.
Constitution saving throw.
Oh, she causes
What did the
Constitution.
Constitution save it?
Yeah,
Mm.
there's always a chance that she'll like save, and she
Yeah.
won't levitate, and she'll be like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
Yeah.
Just-
She's probably also
Hey.
pretty good at it.
I'll say that Dusty rolled really, really good on his history check.
You know,
So
line of it,
I'll
25.
say that he knows that failing your saving throw is not necessarily the end. You will begin to turn to stone and become restrained, and then if you fail another one, if you fail again, you'll be petrified, and if you succeed, then you're fine. It all goes away. If
So
you
2 in a
fail,
row and you're done.
Yeah.
or if you fail by 5 or more, you are instantly turned to stone.
Oh, good.
What the fuck?
And
Okay.
Also, he knows that her dying has no relevance on whether the things turn back into real people. Greater restoration or higher is the only way to turn somebody back from stone. So killing her is irrelevant to bringing somebody back. So it's not like, oh, 2 people got turned to stone, that's fine, we killed her, and then they're fine again. We use a soft and keep going.
How does Azaka feel about all this?
She's not here.
Zaka's just kind of blank stared. She really does not understand. Oh, that's right. Azaka refused to come. I forgot. She wanted no part of this.
Yeah, because
She watched Pyro like spit out all that stuff and piss off Ashara, and she's like, nope,
they're mess.
I will wait here. She told you,
Yeah,
ain't nobody got
same.
time for that.
On the giant mountain.
Hmm.
Funny that she's decided to stay up in the really high place.
Well,
Well, as
no,
long
she
as-
probably
if-
can't.
As long as she's inside, it's fine. Unless she doesn't like look over any of the edges.
Okay, so do we have a kind of a plan?
We try to levitate her and then just go nuts.
Yeah, as soon as it fails, we'll have to rush her and then look away.
I already gave you guys a plan. Fucking bring a statue back and be like, hey, look, this is her. We did it because we're the best.
We have to kill her, right?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the statue is a giant.
Ashara wanted you to go and like take care of this problem. Just basically, it's like go make this make this problem go away. Make this program go away.
We could also, because we know she's a Medusa, we could just like lock her in that room, and then that's it. So, as long
Which
as
room?
she can't, her little hut thing, her little dome. As long as we keep her in there, there's no way she's getting out, right?
Yeah, let's just guard this forever.
We could just lock it off.
There's also 2 doors.
Oh,
Yeah, the other door that leads into the water.
How viable would it be to just like throw something over her head and try to keep it there, or like try to get something over her head?
Oh, just like bum rush her and have someone put
Like tie
Like
something over her
sack,
head.
Like
a
a
sack
bag,
on
hold
her
a
head.
bag over her head.
Like a veil?
Yeah, I mean, it's an idea.
Yeah.
Would make all of this would make the issue of having to look at her at least may give us like a round or two.
I feel like that's the most gangster way to kill her. Like, not like gangsta,
Just
like
rodeo
gangster.
her.
Like, short of putting lead boots on. But yeah,
Lead-
to
what
like
would lead
put a
boots
bag
do?
over her head and stab her. Horrible.
I mean,
Not very.
it's something that I could try, because I could like go invisible and try to sneak
Oh,
around her.
yes. But then you have to see her to put the bag over her head. Oh wait,
Oh, I'll be
You do
Do
behind
it
have
her.
the veil on.
yeah,
Also
do it.
He
have
has
the
a veil
on.
on. I'll be behind her when I try.
Yeah,
it, so.
when you met her before, she was veiled.
Yeah.
You don't know if she leaves that on all the time or if she just put it on because you guys came visiting.
So we
Well, we
knock.
kind of just like.
I will
walked
say
in.
you guys did. No, you guys didn't knock or anything
No.
like that. You just let yourselves in,
Yeah.
and she did have it on. So you do remember that detail specifically. So
Yeah, because we went in there looking for a safe haven and we rested with a Medusa.
And we found the fucking boss.
Mm-hmm. And we just chilled with her for like a couple of hours.
yeah, you guys did real good, like making friends with her. Pyro kept his mouth shut. You guys would be like at the heart of Utao by now.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, but then again, this Medusa would then kill Pyro's future wife.
Maybe
I'm not marrying her.
she may never leave this place.
Yeah, that's probably what she'll do. She's just never gonna leave. She's just
Alright,
gonna
well-
be here forever.
Or she
Yeah,
might be
give me
waiting till
something
you
to try
guys
to-
clear out
try to
Omu, then she'll
ambush
leave
her.
this place.
Gotta ambush her with a fucking bag and like tie it around her head or something.
Okay.
Have yourself equipped with a bag.
Would the bag turn invisible too?
Well, when I'm holding it. I can
Yeah,
al-
until
if-
she
if
lets
it's-
go of it,
If it's
essentially.
telling her let go, I can also just dispel it afterwards because it's not gonna matter too much.
Yeah, I just realized he put.
I would say
invisible
the
over her
action
head
of you
confuses
dumping the
us.
bag over her head would be enough of an attack that would
Yeah.
get rid of your invisibility anyways, but at that point it doesn't matter.
No, I was just more worried about like a random bag just floating over to her head.
No, it wouldn't, no, because anything that Wacky has on her or is carrying turns invisible with her. Because it's not like you see Wacky's clothes floating
Yeah.
around when she turns invisible.
How's
So-
the lighting in the dome? Or in
Uh,
the room, I guess.
that's a good question.
I mean,
I would say she probably had some lighting. I think she probably would have had dim lighting, maybe like a couple candles or something like that lit. She would have just like very dim lighting. She can see in the dark.
Okay. We have a sort of plan.
Sort of plan part 2.
Yeah.
First it was floater. Now it's put a bag
I mean,
on her head.
nothing's stopping us from doing both. If anything, it
Yeah.
could be extra measures.
Well, who's gonna be the bag person?
That'll have to be me.
Wacky.
the one that can
Good.
turn invisible.
The one that can turn invisible.
I could turn one of you invisible, but I don't imagine.
We're particularly sneaky.
Yeah.
I'm decent.
The only
That-
the only
that's
obstacle in
decent.
front of you now is the door. The closed door that will have to be opened.
So we go under the guise of saying hi. We get her to the front door. And before that, Charon sneaks around behind her with the bag while invisible. And then we get into the room, and Dusty is outside of the room, just hanging out. And once we're in, Dusty tries his thing. Or actually, try the bag thing.
Could we do it at the same time? No.
Do you
It'd be
want me
hard
to
to
do the
convert.
levitate thing? Wait, you want me to do the levitate thing first or second?
We the same round, basically.
Okay.
So you want to float her and bag her.
Well, we want
Bag
to
her and tag her.
We want to bag her, and then potentially float her.
There's
Okay.
Potentially bag her, potentially float her.
And I'm gonna
a lot of
be
potentials.
okay.
He basically
Yeah.
wants you like
What's the
outside the
setup?
door, kind of poking your head in. Like you poke your
Okay,
head in and
okay.
do the
He doesn't
thing.
know
Yeah,
Dusty
yeah.
exists.
Yeah.
He does not know Dusty exists. He
Yeah.
only knows the three of us.
Okay,
Can we
fair
make
enough.
Dusty invisible too.
I don't think you can do two invisible.
But can you make yourself invisible?
I
don't think he has
I don't think
Don't
that's a
think
wizard
so.
spell.
It's a wizard thing, if they wanted it to be.
I don't think Dado
I
has
could give
it.
myself haste for a minute.
Jeez, give that to me.
Would that help?
It would probably help if you gave it to one of the melee fighters,
Yeah.
because they get extra attacks in. Haste is concentration as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
so if you use your float, like if you use levitate, the haste will get dispelled.
Okay.
And haste, I think you have to touch the person to.
Yeah, but
cast
he
it
could
on
cast haste like right before you guys go in,
Right.
Yeah, I guess.
as
I
long
guess
as you
that's
do
a-
it within under a minute.
That's a completely other option. Is to haste and talk and stab, or
I can haste you in, and then like I don't mind dispelling it.
well, see, hopefully the levitate won't matter,
Okay.
or so hopefully the haste won't matter if we can levitate.
Yeah, but I mean I can still haste anyway.
I don't think the haste will
Yeah.
do much of a difference.
All right.
Like,
fine.
I don't think we'll get in any attacks before we, like, float her.
And at that
I
point,
could slow her.
what does that do? Makes it so they can attack once
Half
around.
Halves
speed,
their
minus
speed.
2 AC, minus 2 to Dex. Can't use reaction. Gets either one action or bonus action, not both. Can't make more than one melee or ranged attack during its turn. If spellcast is attempted with casting time of one action, roll a d20. On 11 or higher, the spell doesn't take effect until the creature's next turn, and the creature must use its action on that turn to complete the spell. If it can't, the spell is wasted.
Okay, she might be a
And is that
caster, so that might
concentration?
be. Yeah, it's also concentration.
Yes.
That might be useful, but her biggest threat is not something that's an action for her.
Yeah, essentially her biggest threat is her existence,
Yeah. Okay.
living or dead.
If
Then let me know what you want me to do.
if floating her doesn't work, then slow. I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Or fireball. Over and over again, fireball. That's what Bones would do.
I got a random question. Can you levitate and then keep trying levitate?
Oh, just like cast it over and over again?
No. Like, is levitate a spell that you cast and then do something, or is it something that does something initially?
Well, no, essentially it's supposed to be used on a willing creature, so it's not a problem. If you were to use it as an attack,
I
then
was
the
just
spell
checking to
would
see
just
if you
fail.
could. Some of the
Right.
levitating type spells you can change
So, like,
what
if
you're
if
levitating.
Dado's trying to levitate an unwilling creature, if the spell save works, then the spell is just going to fail outright and it's gone. He can recast it next turn, like from another spell slot, but you don't get to just keep trying the spell for the full minute.
I know there's some other levitate type spell. I was
That's-
getting them confused.
Oh, I'm on haste. So, have you guys figured out a plan yet?
I guess so.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
gonna
And
mean,
watch
be.
it all
I can-
fall apart.
You
I'll
can.
wait outside.
And then watch all your friends turn to stone and then just leave?
Sure.
Is there-
Back to the jungle for me!
How far away from the stairs, or sorry, the entryway?
It's
for
a
the-
40-foot diameter room, and her divan...
No. I mean, like if she's at the doorway,
Yeah.
how far away from that doorway is like behind the stairs to the building we're in? Like, can Dusty hide behind that and still be within 60 feet, or is it further away than that?
10, 20, 30, 40, 50... Yeah, it's about 75 feet or so from this building to her building.
So he would have to get out and.
Yeah, he would have to be on the mezzanine, the big part of the wall, and no, there is no cover. It's essentially just flat concrete. There's like little shrubs and vines and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but nothing big enough to
How
hide
are we gonna
behind.
get her to the door?
We knock.
And she says, "Oh, it's open."
I
We kind of just
It's
like
true.
walked in last time.
It could be a lazy queen. Suck my robot. plan's all ruined. I don't know.
I'm just waiting for you guys to try and do something. That's all.
Yeah, I think we gotta make a move here.
I think the best plan, unless we can get a box for
It would be a
Dusty.
shame for the first one of 2018 to be Nangalore Part 3.
Yeah. Unless we get a box for Dusty, he's gonna have to get up close anyways if she's like in the middle of the room.
Why do I need to get up close?
But in order to get an angle, you have to get up some of those stairs. Because
So her dome is up a 10-foot staircase. So
Okay.
like essentially the top of the wall is a 30-foot. Imagine like a 30-foot wide wall that you guys are standing on top of. Big long. It's like a street almost. And then the stairs that go up to her dome, there's stone steps that go up 10 feet. And then there's the doorway to the 40-foot diameter dome that she's in.
do you have disguise self?
Me?
I have
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, Dusty.
No.
You could have been Sharon.
Yeah, she likes
I
me.
did not.
Does Sky's self change your
A
voice?
wizard, not a trickster.
Doesn't change your voice, but
That'd be funny.
Clothing,
Yeah,
armor,
it's
weapons,
me.
and other belongings on your
the
person.
bard. I'll play a song.
oh, I've been playing a lot of concerts. My voice is a little scratchy. Because that way Dusty could be nearby and she not go, "Who is that?" But
You could also just bring Dusty in and be like, look, this is our friend Dusty.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
I got
brought
my
him
job.
to meet you as well. He was so eager to meet you. We told him about it. He was like, the Queen of Omu? I must meet her.
Yeah, so you're going to have to get close, but as soon as the spell takes hold, you can get out of dodge.
As soon as the spell, you mean levitate takes hold?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I thought you were being thought you were memeing the bag spell.
The bag
As
spell.
soon as the spell takes place.
Oh,
And for
Or-
my next trick,
hey, if the bag
it's-
spell works,
I'm casting darkness.
if
Casting
the
bag?
if the bag spell works,
Casting nighttime.
then you don't have to get out because she'll be blind.
Right.
So we're gonna put the
I'm
bag over
still
her
I'm
head.
still trying to like picture this room.
It
It's
is a round room.
Yeah, it's a round room, up 10 feet of stairs, and
40-foot
it's
diameter.
yeah.
There's a bunch
So-
of like rotten cushions around.
So where did it just go? Oh, I drew it on a place I can't see. Okay. Here. So here's the circle. This is a
Where are
40,
you?
40 foot.
Oh,
I'm by the
he's
by-
drawing
in
on
the
the map.
water.
Yeah,
Under
Okay, so this
our
is the room.
characters.
This is 40 feet. Right? 40 feet.
Mhm.
Sure.
Okay.
we are in a building like here.
Okay, it's like half. I can sort of see that. Okay.
Well, you know what a square is.
Yeah. And then
the
there's a
doorway
path.
is here, and then some stairs.
So is the thing you're drawing the thing where we're going to?
That's where
what
we
we're
are.
in.
Okay.
And
And so there's like a path like that.
no, it's like a
it's
big
kind of like
walkway,
an H.
It's like a T.
like a big walkway.
Draw it.
I'm trying.
There. If it helps, it looks.
And then there's stairs
It
like this.
looks like that.
And our ladder's over here.
That circle is the place you're
Yeah.
going to. It's kind of tilted in that because I can't see my cam.
The
I
whole
can't hold it up
is
and
like-
see my cam at the same time.
Okay. And where are we right now?
Here.
You're in
We're
the
in-
thing in the middle.
Yeah. Where?
We're right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the stairs out of here.
Okay. And
But
then
yeah.
this bigger square is just flat.
Yeah, it's just flat. It's like a castle wall type thing.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
20 feet off the
I got
ground.
it. I got it now. Okay.
So when we put the bag over her head, what's stopping her from taking the bag off?
I'm gonna try to tie it around her.
What's
She's
stopping her from untying that?
I don't fucking know. It'll give us a couple rounds at least.
Hopefully the stabbings.
Hell yeah, hopefully you stabbing the shit out of her.
Because if she's blinded, it's much easier for us to stab her as well.
Oh, that didn't work.
So do you have a good bag to fit over heads? A good hid bag?
I don't think so. I do have a shitload of just random clothing though. I could just like put a sheet over her.
She's a ghost.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sure I have like a cloak or something. I took
what
out
if
the
you put
Shadowfell.
what if you put the sheet over her, and then tie a rope around her midsection?
Remember that this also has
Wouldn't
to
it
be
be
something
easier,
that
though?
happens like
In
Six
an
seconds.
action.
Yeah.
if it's something that's
Easier
going to
than
take
by
30
herself.
seconds to pull off, she's going to start struggling after like a couple of those seconds.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
What Wacky could also do, that not that we know she can do this, is stop time.
Do all this in 12 seconds.
Wacky
mean,
could
I
also
could.
just risk her life holding the bag down too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought you were gonna just hold it.
But I wouldn't be the best person for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be better if we had a bag that you could pass off the control to someone strong.
You're the one strong person we have.
To
Who
the,
has
to the
failed
strong,
miserably.
non-stealthy person.
Yep.
Who has failed miserably
Yeah,
on
What's
all his
that?
strength
I
checks
hear ching.
repeatedly.
Like it sounds like a coin purse moving like around the outskirts of the room. What is that?
Yeah. But either way,
Oh dear.
I can't think of any way to make a bag. I guess something I'm going to do in case I need it is tie a bandana around my forehead. I could just flip down if I need to.
Well, it's still you still have to abide by announcing at the start of your turn you're not going to be looking at her, and then you're blind for the round.
That would be
There's
fun.
not really a way to cheat
I know.
that.
That's not really cheating it. That would make me worse blind.
That is also true.
That would make me blind to everything and not just her.
I've still have like
Yes.
a half
Yeah.
cloak that I
Looks
stole out of the Shadowfell.
like
I'll just
this.
use that.
Oh, apparently I
God.
was slightly off on. I forgot that.
There
I
we
didn't
go.
notice there was a guard in there.
You're here. It's here.
Yeah. Okay.
Do this the easy way.
What's this thing?
That's the
Venus
other
flytrap?
garden.
Giant purple vagina monster.
That's the other
Nice.
garden of things that put you to sleep and kill you.
Just like a vagina. Or so I'm told.
Okay.
Or so I read online.
I think
Let's.
you got our doors backwards because ours is locked. The other one
Whatever.
was-
Let's go. I
Broken.
want to fireball, bitch.
You'll get a fireball.
Why can't I
Alright.
delete Dusty's
Yep,
thingy? There we go.
I have a half cloak. I'll use that.
So
I'll
many
cut off
things
a
to
bit of
delete
my
I didn't
robe
know
and
that. I
use
was
that.
trying to delete it.
There's also a green circle hiding in no man's land.
That's the one that you tried to draw initially.
Probably. Okay.
Yeah.
So what doing?
I'm gonna cut off a bit of my 50-foot rope, if anything. If we get it back later, I'll mend it.
Okay.
And I'll use that. And then I have a half cloak that I stole off of a dark creeper a long time ago, and I'll use that.
Can you?
You could also use like you could just like dump out your backpack or something like that too.
If you
Wait, do
if
we
you
still have
cut
Lodge's bag?
this is very into it, but if you cut little holes
Did you?
and then weave the rope back and forth and knot it at one end, you could cinch it when you pull it tight.
I don't
take the
think
time
it's
to do it.
really. It's not really going to make a whole lot of difference to her struggling it off. Whether
I
it's
made
just
a dice bag that way.
It's fine.
like
This
her
is-
her tearing
this
it
is
off
go.
would be about the same whether you do that or just
Yeah.
thing and like
Alright.
rope. So are you
Eventually
trying to
I'll just
tie
find
it
it.
or are you just gonna hold it?
I would like to try to tie it.
Yep, that's good to know.
Can you make a?
Put everything back.
a-
Oh,
Can you make like a slip knot?
Can I?
Like that way, you It'd be a quick way to tie it.
Sure. Give me sleight of hand check.
Are you fucking for real?
Yep.
Really?
So
Please don't
Wacky
have
loops
it already
some
there.
rope
Fuck's
around,
sake.
and she creates what kind of looks like a sloppy noose.
Can we
At least it
test
didn't
it?
happen while we were in there.
Yeah, I feel like you would have to make that anyways.
I'm gonna test the rope, see if it's holding.
Yeah, it's gonna come apart, dog.
So you pull on it, and it's like, yeah, no. You pull on the knot, and it doesn't seem to come out.
And I'm gonna bring up like, there's every chance she just like rips the bag itself.
Yeah, if she can claw at the face of stone,
This
she
is
probably can claw
A
at the...
temporary
cloth.
solution. It'll give
Yeah.
us like a round or two.
Yeah. Either way, we're good.
Let's try. As our
Let's-
plan immediately falls apart.
Yeah, and immediately after you know she has...
As long as you guys initiate your plan. Nothing can fall apart if you don't do anything.
Yeah, so... as soon
I
as...
still think you should have just brought a statue back. That
we
would've
can't bring
been-
the statue back.
So we're just going in like straight up like we're gonna murder you.
Nope,
No.
she was.
She knows us. We're
Yeah.
friends.
Oh, you're friendly. Okay, fine.
Yeah, they made friends with this lady.
Yep.
Kind
She
of.
quite enjoyed their company and was very nice and cordial.
Okay,
Traded
well-
them a diamond for her pretty flower. Everything was great.
I'm gonna let you take lead then because
And
I don't know
now
this
they've come
person.
back to murder this poor innocent lady. Who's just minding her own business.
To be fair, she's not innocent. She did kill the thief.
And threaten the princess.
She may not have like
And she was
meant
banished here
to
for a
kill
reason.
him. I mean, I'm
She-
sure the words on the ground are incriminating and all, but it could have been an accident. Like the story
Wacky
of
looked like
Midas.
she had a question.
Hmm?
You look like you're waiting for a question.
No, it's nothing. I'll cast the spell now. Invisibility on myself.
Okay, Wacky is now invisible. You have 10
Okay.
minutes to enact
Let's
your
go.
plan.
It's an hour.
Shit. You have 1 hour. I'm going to set a timer right now. You have 1 hour for that invisibility wears off.
Okay. So, Dusty's gonna be up on the dais with us, or the stairs with us. I would suggest it be Chiron and whoever wants to open up the door. And then that way they open up the door, Chiron can sneak in.
I'll go behind Jafar. He'll make so much noise. They.
Yeah.
Well, that would work too. But either way, let's go.
Okay.
So
So,
I'll
are
open
you
the door.
opening the door or are you knocking on the door?
I'm gonna knock and then open it.
Okay. So, you rap on the door. Do you wait or you just knock and then, like...
Announce yourself.
He
I'll
knows our
let-
names.
Yeah, I'll be like, Queen Z, it is us again, Jafar and Cassiopeia.
And a friend.
Hey.
That's 1 minute of invisibility down. 59 to go.
Oh no, we got
I
60
open the
59
door.
left.
Okay, you open the door. You see the queen in her her feathered dress and feathered veil, sort of stretched out on her divan, kind of. She's kind of staring up at the ceiling, like moving her hand in kind of like wispy motions in the air, and she's kind
Oh,
of
we
like
forgot
looking
to
at it.
tell. Forgot to tell Dusty she's fucking crazy.
He'll
I'm just observing right now.
he'll learn soon
So-
enough.
Alright, as Jafar enters, I'm gonna try to use like his noise to sort of mask my own noises. I'm gonna go press myself up against a wall.
Sounds like stealth checks to me. So you enter, and she says, "Ah, my love, look, we have visitors." She's like, "Please come in."
Oh my fucking god!
Amazing.
Oh
Well,
no.
to be fair, I believe invisibility. Is it? No, it's just in. I believe it gives you advantage on stealth checks.
First two things I rolled today.
Uh,
This isn't looking good.
That'll be fine.
It's not in there. It's a trait of being invisible. I believe it. I would give you advantage on it anyways. So, luckily for you. Yeah, even though that would be funny. So, she sort of beckons you. She sits up on her divan and then slowly rises to her feet, very gracefully.
We'll walk in a little bit. And we're like, we brought a friend. Wait, are we saying that Dado's here? Are we saying that
Yeah.
Dusty's here?
Yeah, Dusty's there with you.
Yeah.
We're like, we brought a friend. We mentioned that we ran into you, and he was so interested in meeting the Queen of Omu. He had to come see you. He had to pay his respects.
She's like, yes, my love and I sometimes get very lonely here. It is always wonderful to have company come and visit. It's like, are you subjects of mine from Omu?
Oh.
We are not. Oh, she knows us.
Yeah,
She knows us.
So,
She knows we're pale.
give me an insight check.
Oh God.
to
Probably
find out whether or
forgot who
not
we
being
were.
subject.
Insight.
Goddamn.
Yeah, you get this. The way she's talking, you
nuts.
get the suspicion that she may not know who exactly you are. The way she's talking, though, too. Yeah, Jez kind of gently whispers in your ear, "She's high as fuck."
Yeah.
And yeah, she seems to have this demeanor of someone that is high as fuck. Something that you are quite familiar with after having Vidania in your party for so long.
I'll say no. We are visitors of your garden.
So she kind of puts her arms out and sort of does a little twirl, gesturing around the room, and gesturing around her. And she's like, "Isn't this garden beautiful? My love built it for me as a tribute to myself and my beauty, a beauty renowned throughout Chult and all of Faerun."
We have seen the statues.
She tells you, yes, the statues are lovely, but they hardly do justice to the real thing.
And with a cute little rabbit with a horn on its head.
I have no idea what's happening right
what
now.
happened? There's a perk up and like.
With my awakened mind, I'm gonna look over at Jez and say to him, get her off that divan, or...
Well, she's not on it.
Yes.
She's basically
Oh, is
standing in
she?
front of it.
Okay.
The divan, her divan is on a dais in the center of the room. The dais is about 10 feet in diameter.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of standing in front of it. Probably at the edge of the dais at this point, remaining on it, but right at the forefront to greet you.
And where would
She's
you say
royalty.
I
She has to stand over you. That's how it works.
Does she have that diamond on the where the flower was?
Yes. You see, in place of the potted plant, the potted black orchid, you see the diamond that you gave her, and it's propped up on a little kind of partially rotten pillow. The pillow looks old and worn out, but it's not too shabby.
Is that on the divan or near the
No,
divan?
it's on a little nightstand beside it.
Where would you say I am right now?
Where did you want to be?
I would have tried to get around behind her.
I'll say you are up on the dais with her. You made 2 stealth checks. That is enough if you had wanted to. Yeah, you can. You are basically within a few feet of her.
Okay.
You probably had to duck one of those arms as she waved around, "This is lovely."
This is
Place
one of
is
the
great.
This is one of the
It's
worst
like, whoa.
ways
oh,
to
no.
have to kill Medusa. I'm just gonna say, because that's no fuck.
Apparently, me being the fucking vain person I don't carry a mirror. That's gonna be the first thing I buy when we get back to Nine Zaru.
I just polish my shield up real good.
Alright, let's do this. I'm gonna fucking try to bag her.
Let Dado know before that. Like, talk to Dusty with your mind.
Well,
So we prepare it all.
talking's free, and she can just talk.
Yeah, awaken
Yeah,
mind.
she could.
So we're just gonna straight up go for that. We're not even like, all right.
Well,
Well,
you know the signal is bag on the head is go time. That's kind of the signal you
And,
agreed
yeah,
on.
Awaken
And you
mind.
want
Hey,
no
Dusty, I'm gonna
levitate?
do
Yes,
it.
no.
Yes, love.
Yes.
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 Okay.
Wacky can talk to you through telepathy,
Okay.
so she'll tell you, "Go levitate now," type of thing.
Alright,
Yeah.
what kind of roll do you want for this?
Get a bag check.
So I'm not gonna ask for
TSA.
stealth. Your stealth is fine. You're basically like right there, ready to go. It's gonna basically be an attack to grapple. So I
grapple.
believe that's like a strength. Yeah, it's basically a strength roll versus her
Oh,
AC.
shit.
You'll have advantage due to the fact that you are sneak attacking her essentially. But you basically make like a
Good.
strength. You basically make a strength, like weapon attack with the bag. Like,
Okay.
whatever it is, like an improvised weapon attack is essentially what you're doing. And instead of damage, you're trying to grapple her head.
You're trying to bag.
I'll just do 2d20 rolls as my bonus to it.
Ow.
So
Okay.
you successfully get it over her head. Like that's not. You basically, you slip the. So what was it exactly? You
I
have.
wanted to tie it around her.
Okay, so you throw the cloak over her head, and in the same motion, you slip the knot that you like the noose that you crafted around her head, and you pull. And like as you pull, like the knot just doesn't give; it just stays, and you realize that you basically just tied like a big circle with like just a
Yep.
solid knot. It's not a slip
That's what
knot
I
like
expected.
whatsoever. So, she immediately begins to struggle and thrash and scream. I know the three of you have prepared attacks, so before we go any further, she does technically have this thing over her head, and Wacky's now just popped back into reality with like this noose that she's pulling on, and there's like a good foot of like open space behind the noose. So she's basically just like rubber band it. And then
Guess I'm
like
holding it.
the queen Zalcore is trying to basically like duck out of this thing.
Guess I'm gonna
But-
hold it.
But you guys have what we will do. We will roll
run
initiative. So roll initiative. Oh, why
This
did I
time it's
move
my
that?
fault our plan goes awry.
It's always stealth checks too.
Yep, it always is.
Well, this wasn't a stealth check. This was a bag check,
Yeah.
like an airport.
Yeah.
Well, the bag's over her head. It's just she's about to struggle free. But you guys have him. You guys have a minute.
Listen, I'm not the one to grab the rope either.
Well, you saw Wacky yank on the rope and nothing happened. So you imagined that the slip knot that she made must not have been a slip knot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like the best
This-
that
Pyro checked
could-
the like strength of the knot. Like he pulled on the knot and was like, "Yeah, it's a good knot. It's holding on." He didn't say he wanted to check and make sure like the thing like
it
works,
slipped.
like
the best
that
that
it
you
functions
could do
the way it's supposed
is,
to.
Uh,
Oh yeah, there's no Zaka.
you could like, I don't want
Stop
to say
moving
twerk,
that.
but you could spin it so that it's a tight rope. But I can't do that. Oh, Jesus.
Well, Wacky could also just continue to like just pull,
Yeah,
basically like put her in a headlock, like
yeah, that's basically what you're doing.
Not the best person to do it, but
So
I would suggest
I'm going to give you
someone-
guys a full
Go.
round before she. Basically, you guys are going to get a full round of combat before she gets a chance to jump in on her turn. So
Are
we'll start with.
these because she's blind, right?
She is
Are
blind.
these advantage?
Sure. I'd give you that.
Okay. Bonus action to make it glow. And I'm gonna start swinging at this.
This poor,
Horrible
this
situation.
poor lady.
Oh shit! I only rolled normal.
This is why I hate that little drop down thing for normal, or
It's
that's why I always just have it roll twice, just because
No,
it's so
not
much
great.
quicker. So you do 14. I need a piece of paper to keep track of this. Oh wait, I had music for this.
Oh.
Ooh.
While you're searching for music, I'm gonna roll my secondary attack.
This is exactly what I expected.
It just ends up being
This
melee.
song.
It threw me
song's
off that you
exactly
guys
what I
tried to bag
expected.
her. I expected you to kick the door in and start fighting her.
Hey,
Where's my pencil? Cat, where's my pen? Oh, my cat's not there either. No pencil, no
And-
cat.
just
What do I
because
do?
this is the best time to do it, I will action search.
Boom, 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 boom. So would you
I'll
do
let
9
it
more
all
damage?
again. Yeah. And that's gonna be 7 more.
Crispy 7.
Whoops.
Don't you get another attack as well?
I'm doing it. And
Ooh.
I don't think a 12 is gonna.
12 is not gonna hit.
Man, that damage.
That was
Though.
good.
Damn it.
Just give me the total damage. I found a pen. This is good enough.
That's probably a faster way.
23, 30, 45.
30.
Oh, yeah, I counted the
last
other one.
didn't hit.
Oh god, this pen doesn't work. Alright, 30. She's 30 damage. It's really easy to keep track of right now. Wacky go. Aha! Found you.
Can I try it again?
You can...
Like retighten the thing around her head.
Well, at this point, the rope is kind of... Like, it'll take more than a turn to, like, wrap rope around and tie it in a knot.
Will it take 2 turns?
2 turns of the rope. Oh.
Possibly. It's going to depend on a, like, tying rope check.
Alright. I'm gonna.
The other
use my
thing you
time
could do
stopper.
is you can physically hold it and restrain her. I will say that she does not seem aggressively strong. Like, for her, she's thrashing, like, right now, sort of, like, as you're trying to hold this. She does not really... She feels about as strong as you would imagine she would be. Like, a woman her size. So she's not, like... supernaturally strong, like you would expect, like some kind of like a vampire or something like that might be.
Alright.
Like,
Okay, then I'll just.
she
use my
feels
action
like a
to-
human strength.
I'll just use my action to keep trying to hold her then.
Okay, give me. You're gonna give me a strength. Give me a strength check. Strength athletics check. Let's use that.
It wouldn't matter.
And she's going to.
Dick. Oh,
That's
boy.
so she has a DC of 3 to try and break out of this hold on her
So
turn.
we've got a 1, a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 2 and a 3.
This is. I'm doing great now. Dusty, you might want to slow her. You might want to slow her. If this is
Oh,
gonna
sorry,
work.
Dusty. It is your turn.
Want the slow or do you want the levitate?
You'd probably go for the slow at this point.
Mm, yeah.
Guys, are you muted?
No, I wasn't talking.
Okay.
Okay.
I just don't think I don't think levitating is gonna
Oh.
help at this
Let's move
point
to this.
anymore because
No, all it's gonna do is lift her up into the damn air.
yeah, then you can get out. But
I'm gonna hit her with the slow.
There.
hit her with the
Queen's Alcore.
Okay. So it's up to 6 targets in a 40-foot cube.
Well, you're only doing her.
I know. I can pick the targets, right? Technically
Yeah.
speaking?
The
Okay.
up to. You could technically pick 0 targets if you wanted to.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
what would be the point of casting it then?
So
That would
we're
be-
gonna cast slow on her. It's a why is it not? Oh, saving throw. I didn't check it. How about that?
Wisdom saving throw!
She is high as fuck, so that's probably a disadvantage to wisdom.
What? All I heard was Pyro yell out disadvantage to wisdom.
Because she's high as fuck.
Well, no.
Does that not count against her wisdom?
You don't know what she's high
You
in.
know,
the
you know
highest-
what'd be really
she's been
helpful in
high
this
as fuck
fighting?
for centuries.
Cheating.
This was a lot quieter.
Okay, yes,
than I
slow.
set it up yesterday. So she is going to fail her wisdom saving throw. She is slowed. So
We're struggling
minus 2.
now.
And
I'm
I
gonna write
am
this down.
going to make sure that I don't look at. It's us looking at her, right?
Yeah, but that has to be at the start of your turn.
Oh, I thought I could use it as a thing at the end because I was
Nope.
going to cast and then look away.
That would be cheating, Data.
Oh.
That would be
Yeah,
pyroing.
no, let's just use. Damn it.
But you got this is your surprise round, so she's not gonna go this round either.
Okay.
So it's gonna skip her, go right to Pyro, and then we're into regular initiative order. Because you guys caught her completely off guard, so I gave you a full surprise.
Yeah,
So the only one, that's in
Especially with the
danger-
bag over her head, because it wasn't just
only
you
one
drew
that's really
swords and
in
stabbed
danger-
her. Like
Right.
The only one really in danger is going to be Jafar.
Yeah. So I could either call that now. Huh.
she can only do one
Well-
action, right? Yeah, she can only take one. Oh yeah, action or bonus action, not both, and she can't make more than one attack. Okay.
Alright, well, I'm gonna use a couple of Divine Smites with these. Here's, well, okay. Probably
Hey,
not that
Pyro,
one.
what's that thing you could do as a bonus action that gives you advantage?
Don't we have advantage right now anyways?
Do you? Oh, right.
Yeah.
okay.
She's
We
like-
do. But
But still,
That
Yeah.
one
You
will
got
come
nothing else-
next
you
round.
got nothing to do, nothing else to use your bonus action on.
you have to see them to
Oh wait,
cast
Divine
it.
Smite doesn't count as a bonus action?
I'm saying you have to see them to cast it. Just saying.
Hang on.
Just keep rolling, Pyro.
Whatever.
Just keep
You
rolling.
can do it at the end.
I will also, like, yeah, I'll do that at the end. And is it 13 a hit?
Nope.
Even with her minus 2 AC?
It is actually a hit. Just barely.
Yeah.
I thought your
Oh
Yeah.
Christ. 7 and 8.
So you guys just start, like, Jez and Pyro just start running up and just start stabbing her. Like, this vicious.
Just so
Like, I hope RoboCop shows up and shoots you guys in the dick for this.
awful.
And then,
You wear the eye
Valor
Yeah.
and
You're all
Vanity.
awful. I just happen to be here.
And Dusty's, like, this perfectly polite lady that you guys said, like, let you stay in her place and, like, offered you, like,
Getting my diamond.
food and let you stay there and was really nice
Yeah,
to you. You
but-
guys just stabbing her.
Dusty also knows that is the one that very much knows how shitty Medusas are.
She wasn't hurt, like, doing anything to you guys.
Killed
So Jez, and now we're in normal initiative order.
Now I will have to avert my gaze.
Wisdom saving throw, end of her turn. Okay.
We did the wisdom saving throw.
So I'm gonna avert my gaze.
Avert gaze.
And now
Finally
I'll
had a
be-
chance to use it. This has been in, like, the track list for,
So,
like, since we started this campaign, just having a chance to
She's
use
still
it.
blinded. So is this gonna be a normal swing?
No, she's still.
She's blinded, but I'm blind. Is it just gonna be?
Oh, yeah. You didn't move away from her, right?
No. I just stayed where I was
Yeah, so it'd
and
be
looked
normal.
Look down at my hands. as I swing into her.
Because if you had moved away from her, I would be making you roll to see if you can find her again while you're just blindly swinging around.
Yeah, there's
But
no
you know,
point.
if you're still within melee range of her, then yeah, you can make normal swings. That's a hit.
14. And another 10.
Yep.
And that's my turn.
Wacky, what do you want to do?
Just gonna keep trying to hold the bag over her head.
Get strength check thingy.
Like I said, this is like putting a bag over someone's head and stabbing them with an ice
Roll
pick over and
something
over.
good. All
You
right,
have
we're
advantage.
steadily going up.
This is
You-
this is the worst.
You don't
session
have
for me
advantage
so
on
far.
that because it's not
Steadily
that type of thing.
increasing.
I don't think.
Dusty.
I give it 16
Okay.
more turns and I'll roll a crit.
So if I want to attack, but I also want to avert my eyes, I got to avert my eyes first. Do I attack with disadvantage?
Yep.
Well, right now it's gonna be normal because she's blind, you're blind.
Well, that's
but if she gets
that's
unblind-
if he goes up and melees her. If he's
Oh.
shooting stuff, he's gonna be shooting with disadvantage.
Yeah.
Because he's just gonna be like, closing his eyes and like, pew pew
Yeah,
pew
that's basically
pew.
what I'm doing. So we're gonna gamble here.
You could also,
This whole
I'm pretty
fight-
sure Wacky said she was fireproof, so I mean you could just nuke the room with a fireball too.
Oh, Wacky's fireproof or she's
no,
fireproof?
no,
No.
yeah.
None of us are fireproof.
Okay, fine.
I mean that's what
I'm gonna...
Bones would have thrown like 3 fireballs by now.
He was also a
Um,
sorcerer.
Oh, I guess.
You
Never mind. I'm
spell
already.
He-
I'm already concentrating on the slow. Yeah. I'm just gonna do a firebolt then.
I mean, if you want to shoot a fireball, I'm not gonna stop you.
No, I'm not gonna do a fireball.
Fireball with disadvantage. Dusty's
Oh,
got like his
okay.
robes pulled up over his head, and he's just like, Pachoo!
Now, okay. So if I cast True Strike on myself for the next turn, does that get rid of the disadvantage and it's just a normal roll?
Yes.
Okay.
Like if you have advantage and disadvantage, they cancel each other out. It doesn't matter what
Uh-huh.
they're. What
So you could be
Oh,
normally
yeah.
effective every other turn.
Or you can gamble being not effective at all.
I mean, statistically,
Let's try our luck here. We're gonna cast.
you'll be the one to roll 2 crits.
Is there a way to incorporate? No. Okay, I'm just gonna roll this twice then. Hot.
Yeah. So 18's a hit for 10. So you smack her. Your firebolt pings around the room and then catches her. And like Wacky gets a first-hand look as like a bunch of her feathered dress just like gets engulfed in flames and
Nice.
burns away.
Oh shit, down is very,
Nice.
very good at fire.
Zalcore. She's going to make an attempt to.
Yeah, she got a 4 to fucking beat.
So she's going to acrobatics her way out of it. She rolls a 9. I think that beats a 4. So
Second
she
would also beat a 4.
she slips out of the bag. And then just kind of like in one fluid motion just uses the rest of her turn to just turn, like just basically turn, throw the veil away, and just stare straight into your eyes, Wacky. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
This is it, guys. Yep.
And Wacky,
+2.
what?
+2, so 11.
You feel your body begin to constrict and tighten, but you are not yet turned into a statue.
Well, wait.
Oh, it's coming.
Does the slow do nothing?
That's all. She basically she slipped out, and like as basically her slipping out, like her gaze is not an action.
Oh.
That's just a feature of her.
It does
Okay,
make her
fine.
easier for us to hit, though.
Yeah, that's
To
true.
be fair,
Yeah.
like, all of her attacks and stuff like that she can do are not really all that great. Her biggest danger is the fact that just looking at her is horribly dangerous. And that's all she can do, is it?
Okay.
So yeah, Wacky, you are now restrained as your body begins to turn to stone. So you're going to have to repeat the saving throw at the end of your next turn, becoming petrified on a failure or ending it on a success.
Can I dispel magic?
No. The only thing that's going to get rid of it is greater
Wow.
restoration.
Gonna start rolling up that cleric.
Or-
Like on the halvesies.
Listen, we still might be able to get your.
Can I dispel on
Don't.
the halvesies?
Dispel, no. It's
Okay.
too powerful for that. This is
Well,
a curse. This is a demonic curse, essentially, or a
But
devilish
spell curse.
curse.
I'm sure I have removed curse or something.
Yeah, remove curse is not strong
You
enough.
have remove curse, but
I
Yeah.
am going to avert my gaze.
Put your gaze.
better start wailing on this bitch.
So
I
your
have-
attacks will be with disadvantage because she's not blind anymore.
I have my vow
No,
of enmity
his is
though.
normal.
So okay, so yours are normal.
He's normal.
I'm not used to you using that ever.
Yeah, me neither.
So 18 is a hit. You
Not
gash at her, and she's looking pretty rough.
Rough, you say?
She
I
is
will
like
throw
she's
in-
she's bleeding this kind of greenish blood.
Throw in one of those.
Divine's Might.
I like.
So you just pound her with friggin' radiant energy, and she kind of drops to a knee, and all the little snakes that seem to make up her hair all kind of like turn and look at you and hiss, and she kind of slowly gets back to her feet. As she does,
we're just gonna kill her here.
As she does,
I'm just
this
fucked.
ghostly apparition, like this sort of mist, just kind of like
Oh.
forms like off of her body, and this ghostly apparition of a 10-foot tall Chultan warrior with a huge spear just kind of appears in the air above her, and he just stabs into you, Pyro.
I really thought
Do I
that.
still get
Effortlessly.
my crit on her?
shit's cheating, dude.
For the
Do I still get my crit on her, and can I roll a divine smite for that?
Yes. You are hit for 18 damage. 18 force damage.
Nothing.
Do I get to like does my
No.
AC account for any of that? No. I don't
No,
get to block any of
the hit from the ghost is automatic. There's no attack roll for it.
that? Okay. Well, there's my
good.
divine smite.
Okay. Ghost attacks you again. So you cripple her, and she
Well,
looks
your
like she
divine
is on
smite
death's
should be
door.
Ripple.
And you said I got hit how much? 18?
18, and you're gonna get hit for another. So as you attack her again, the ghost attacks you again for another 15 damage.
And my -3 does not count towards
Nope,
those.
it's
does it?
force damage.
That was quite a bit of hit.
Your divine smite
Quite
should
a
be
bit of
bigger.
hit.
It was a crit.
Oh, should I roll another d8?
Well, roll another
Another two.
whatever.
Another
Roll
2d8.
your divine smite a second time.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's hurt real bad.
And now she's got some sort of.
She's got a stand now.
She's got like.
She seems to have gotten a stand. You see, she gasps and choke, like, kind of spits up some blood, and just sort of pleads to the ghost, "My love, protect me." Jez.
So I don't know there's a ghost.
Oh no, you. Oh, because you're not looking.
Yeah.
You hear me screaming.
Yeah, you hear Pyro scream. You're like, "Oh no, Pyro's been turned to stone."
Speaking of free action, I sure as hell see it. I tell her.
You can't look away.
It's like, "There's a ghost! There's a ghost! There's a ghost! There's a ghost!" Fucking big ghost.
Hitting her.
Ghost of statue. The ghost looks exactly like that statue that you saw in like the main building. Strangely
Is he
enough,
in the path where she was?
he is essentially like he doesn't even really have legs. He's just kind of like coming out of her and sort of like hovering in her space. like basically hovering above her. He is literally her stand.
Just finish her. She's nearly dead.
The player in me knows that it probably is going to retaliate against me too. I will. Yeah, I don't know if she knows she's down there, but
Oh,
so
it
I
is.
will.
Oop,
I'll
Jess's
attack
turn.
her with disadvantage.
Smack this hoe.
With disadvantage, that 14 is a hit
For weak 7.
for 7 damage.
Again with another 7.
Am I allowed to turn that into a trip?
I don't see why not.
Isn't she already on the floor? Oh no,
No.
Oh, she's not
She got right
prone.
up.
She's,
No,
right,
that's
right.
flavor.
yeah.
Flavor.
So you attempt to trip her and end up accidentally just like cleaving her leg like clean off with your sword, and she just kind of screams, and the ghost screams,
That's
and
how you trip her.
she collapses to the floor, and the ghost lets out this impassioned no, and like just slowly fades back into mist.
You killed her, Lord Vader.
I thought I was going to have to kill the
Man, I was
ghost.
gonna do like a cool thing.
Dispel ghost?
Which leads us to Wacky's turn. Wacky,
Wacky.
Constitution saving throw.
Let's do.
Is that the only thing I could do? Like on my turn?
You're
Because it
Is
was
she
at the
dead?
end.
She's dead?
No,
You're
she-
restrained, so you can. It's going to be at the end of no. Must repeat the saving throw at the end of its next turn. So yeah, you got the rest of your turn, but
just
you
can't
are
move
restrained, so you
anywhere.
can't move.
And your attacks have disadvantage if you want to
Mhm.
attack us.
Avert my eyes, just in case.
Well, she's dead.
Oh shit.
So you watch
That's it.
as your friend Wacky completely just turns to stone.
I thought she becomes petrified first.
She already was.
That is turned to stone.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys look. You guys turn back to see if the Medusa's dead, and you see a like life-sized Wacky statue, just like sitting there holding like a stone bag. It's really weird. You're like, who would carve this? Where'd Wacky go? It's so odd.
Well, we gotta drag her ass back.
Yeah, I really hope Shara is a cleric.
Someone over there has to be. But for the next few days, it's gonna be.
Yeah, have fun.
Good thing we're going back and forth the same path because
Good thing you guys know the way.
we
Yeah.
Well,
lost.
what technically
we lost
Wacky knew the
path.
way because she was
Yeah.
your guide.
You just follow the footprints. It's fine.
We've been back and forth that one path 3 times
So, yeah.
now.
So
I want
Zalcore
to...
collapses face down on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, so she collapses face down on the ground. The ghost disperses. Wacky turns to stone, and silence sort of rings out over the garden.
Can I?
Jafar's just kind of speechless. He's just gonna sit down and just be like, oh, fuck.
Can I inspect the body?
Sure.
I'm gonna walk over to Wacky and take all of her stuff. No, never mind.
You
All of her
can't
stuff
stone.
seems to be made of stone.
No, I'm gonna investigate. What's old? What's her face?
Yeah, so old What's-Her-Face doesn't really seem to have anything on her other than a very badly singed feather dress. Now, do you want to sort of turn her over and check, like, the front, see if she's got any front pockets?
There might be some magic in her eyes.
I've.
Put it back over her head first.
There's a stone bag attached to the Wacky statue. You can attempt to, like, chisel that off.
I'm gonna take my other set of robes.
Like your old shitty robes that are all, like,
Yeah.
worn out from the jungle.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna like wrap it around her head.
Okay. You do so.
Okay. And then I'm a Flipadelphia.
Okay, you flip her over, and yeah, the seems to be more singed dress.
You
Looking
Okay.
looking around the room.
But before you continue, I'm gonna flip Adelphia her back.
Oh, you
over
flip her back
again,
over?
just so no risk of nothing happening.
So you flip her back face down. Looking around the room, you figure that her dress was quite exquisite, even though she made it herself. So it was probably worth like a decent amount of money if it wasn't all completely burnt to crap and like full of stabbing holes and blood. You also find 8 vials of a strange liquid. They seem to be sort of like sitting over on like one of the tables on the side of the room. There's also like 3 or 4 empty vials just kind of like lying there beside them. It has like a very sweet aroma to it.
What if it's anti-petrification?
I was just gonna say, can I do an Arcana check on him?
You get yeah, sure. Give me an Arcana check. That's essentially going to be you like taste testing them and like trying to figure out what they are.
Taste test them. They're actually petrification potions. Poison.
Well, like because you take like when you check to see what a potion is, you technically like take a tiny bit of it to figure out what it is, because like the tiniest drop is not going to kill you.
Okay.
So yeah, it tastes kind of like it's got a very plant-like taste to it. It tastes kind of poisonous. But you also get sort of, like, for a second, like, your head is kind of all woozy and cloudy. You imagine that you were told by your friends that, like, she's a big drug addict, and this is probably her drugs. You imagine... yeah, you were in Barovia with everybody else, of course, so... this seems very similar to the dream pies that the hags were making.
Oh, I never had one.
Yeah.
No, but you saw the results of what they did
fine.
based on the watch. Like, this seems to be some kind of hallucinogenic drug, and this is probably what she just kept herself high on 24/7.
Right.
You would imagine that it probably... I'd say if you drink it, you must succeed on a saving throw, and then you will begin to experience illusory sights, sounds, smells, and sensations that seem real, and that will last for 1d4 plus 4 hours. So, essentially, if you drink one of these things, it's going to last up to 8 hours, and you're just going to hallucinate and trip out.
Right.
Is there any benefit to it, though?
Escape reality.
I mean,
if you're a Medusa living alone in a garden that you were exiled to, and everyone you know is long dead, including the person that you loved, probably really useful.
I'm gonna get up. Gonna go get the diamond.
Yep. Yeah. You also looking around the room, you find those vials. You find the diamond that you gave to her for the flower sitting on the table, and yeah, that's about it. That's all she's got. She lived a simple life.
Is there a way we can transfer Wacky?
You pick her up. It's going to be heavy. It's probably going to take 2 of you to like carry her.
Then we should probably check out that urn to see if there's anything useful in it before we leave here.
Yep. So yeah, you go back and open up the urn.
I'm gonna stay with Wacky.
And as you inside, it seems to be full of ashes.
That's it? Just ashes?
I don't know. If you want to dump it out, you can see if there's anything else in
I
there.
was gonna say dig around a little bit, a little diggy do.
Yeah, so
I don't want to dig in them, but I will.
Just kind of shake it around or something.
Like mage hand
Use a stick
around
and
in there.
shift stuff around.
I'll
yeah.
mage hand it around.
Poke it around in there. You find that the urn contains nothing but the ashes of her former lover, Theorutaya.
Why
And
don't these bitches understand that stuff is cool? I want your stuff.
she had no use for stuff. Her face was stuff.
Yeah.
And technically, they already found the treasure by finding that folding boat on trip 1 through Nangalore.
We could check the, I want to check that river, or that flooded garden. Find out what those rocks are.
Okay.
While they're doing that, I'm gonna attempt to take a short rest.
Sure. You got enough time to take a short rest. So you take a short rest. Anybody else who wants to as well. Jez fishes around. So
I'm gonna
you
be resting for a
find...
while, guys.
Yeah.
Wacky's taking a really short rest.
Yeah,
Really
Maybe a
long
long
rest.
rest more
I
like.
might as well short rest.
So you
Wait,
find
also
Slot back.
+8.
that big pile of weird shaped stones. You wade yourself in there,
I
and
will open
you-
up that door to this place from their building so they can get
Yeah.
to me quickly in case it's evil.
So you go fishing through there, and you like reach down and you pull out this exquisite stone carving, this life-size stone carving of a fish. And you kind of like dig around in there, and you find like this stone turtle. And you dig around in there some more, and you find like stone birds
He
and
was
more
creature
fish.
watching.
And as you dig further and further down this 2-foot deep pile of what look like just life-sized creatures that have been turned to stone, or that are made out of stone. Excuse me. Excuse me. They're not turned to stone. That's crazy.
Definitely not.
You also find 2 human-sized statues at the very bottom of the pile. They look like humans. They look kind of adventure-y, like they're wearing, they look similar to the people that you saw in Port Nyanzaru, so you imagine they might be Chultan descent. But yeah, you find 2 Chultan statues, life-size statues down at the very bottom underneath all the fish and turtles and birds.
Okay, I'll go back.
Yep. So,
Spoilers. She also has turning animals to stone.
What a
Or
bitch.
is a really good carver.
Well, do we want to take her head? We can gouge out her eyes.
You said you were
Medusa's
taking the
head?
head back. I'm just saying. I'm not
They
there. I'm
want
sorry.
the head?
Well,
As
Dad
promised
said he was
it to
taking it
them.
back, so.
do I know if there's any other way to for proof of death other than taking someone's head?
Take like a snake off her head.
your
or
word, but you imagine taking the head is probably the clearest and easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
Dusty's
So-
able to tell you that, yeah, like the eyes are what turn you to stone. So if you like gouge out the basically if you like hold the head up and just kind of dig the eyes out a bit with a knife or something like that, you're probably fine.
Or
You may want to
Yeah,
keep it wrapped up.
I will do
blindfold
that.
it and wrap it up?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's already got my crappy robe on it.
Yeah. So
I'll stab
Get
her
some like
eyes out.
rope. Yeah, get some rope
Yeah, but
and
we don't want to
secure it.
What if there's a way to use her eyes?
To unpetrify? I don't think there is.
Probably not, but we don't know what Aarakocra know.
maybe it's delicacy. They love to
Alright,
eat
we won't
Medusa
stab
eyes.
her eyes yet.
Yep, so you wrap up the Medusa head, and I assume you're going to head back to...
Yeah.
Yep,
First
The
of
other
all,
issue is
so
getting a statue downstairs. down.
So a few days later, you return to Curse of
How
All.
heavy is the statue?
Quite heavy, at least a
be
couple hundred
levitated?
pounds.
We're pushing it the
Human-sized
whole time.
statue. Well, 2 of you could probably carry it without
Yeah,
too
but I
much
mean
distress.
down the 20
Rope.
foot. Down the 20-foot
You
thing.
you might be able to get some help from the Aarakocra with that if you ask nicely. Like have like 3 or 4 bird people tie some rope around it and fly the statue up.
Careful.
Well, it's that or you guys drag it up precarious stairs for 500 feet.
Well, no, they can come
Or-
get it.
I'm gonna wait down there with her.
Wait a sec. Can
I mean, if it's under 500 pounds, it can be levitated.
I would
But
say
Dusty would
I would
love
say
that.
she's under 500 pounds.
Unless Dusty wants to be picked up and he levitates away.
There's a noodle-armed bard.
But
so-
yeah, we can get as many birds as possible to help lift
So,
it up.
yeah, it takes you guys a couple hours to climb the stairs again. I assume Dusty just shoots himself up like usual.
Going straight up. Lucky y'all.
I'm gonna wait until we get the birds. Like,
Oh.
I'll climb up after. Who
Yeah,
has
you
the head?
you
Do you
explain
have
your
it or do I have
situation to
I would probably have
I
that.
can't remember his name now. Your friend that you
Nafir?
rescued.
The fear.
Yeah, Nafir. There we go. It's several pages back now. Yeah, so you run into Nafir shortly after you guys get up to the top. Kind of explain what's going on, and he manages to wrangle up like 4 or 5 other Aarakocra, and they grab they basically grab like a cargo net, and then they fly down and raise Wacky up, and you end up with a Wacky statue up on top of the Cursiball. So
Okay.
you're in Cursiball with your Wacky statue.
Well, we have to head to Shara and let her know.
So, you gonna leave the statue here, or you can take it with
Well-
you to?
Taking it with us.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
So, you guys, I'm guessing probably like Jez and Pyro, basically 2-man the statue, kind of up the
Yeah.
like the rickety passageways. Nefir probably gives you guys a hand too. Like at one point, he probably relieves Jez and takes it with Pyro. Yeah, he's all buddy with you guys after you saved him. Saving people's lives will do that for you.
let's try that again.
So he helps you guys carry it to the main
Ashara.
monastery where Ashara is, and so you just plunk her down, and someone summons Ashara, and she comes out and says, "Ah, you've returned." It's like, were you able to stop the evil that was after our beloved princess?
We were.
She is
I
dead.
would not look at her head just yet, though.
She
It's
was
wrapped up
a
all nice.
Medusa.
Don't look though.
It's like, is this
She was a
this strange
Medusa.
statue a gift for our village
No,
to commemorate your victory?
Charon. This is Charon, who got petrified doing this thing for you guys. Please tell me you know how to unpetrify him.
We'd be ever so grateful.
No, we do you one thing, you do us one thing.
So
No.
she tells you that she does have the ability to cast a greater restoration spell. They have.
Oh my gosh.
She has one greater restoration scroll. It's not a spell she innately knows, but she has a scroll that she can cast it from. Basically, it's like in case of emergency. It's the first aid kit. She goes over, opens up the first aid kit. There's a restoration scroll in there.
In case
Yeah,
of
you're gonna
Medusa,
get some
Yeah.
bandages,
In case of basilisk
some
or
gauze, greater restoration spell.
so
you
she
know.
goes and like rubs some ointment on the statue. So she is able to. I can't remember how long. I think greater restoration's fairly quick.
by the way, Wacky, now is if you want any modifications to your body.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, be tired of having like all 2 of those arms and.
God.
It is instant. So she reads aloud the incantation on the scroll, like waves her feathery hands around, and you see like the color start to return to the statue, and then Charon basically just collapses in a heap on the floor, and just like shudders and coughs and.
Did it hurt keeping that pose for so long?
So like as she finishes reading the incantation and Charon's like stirring and alive, the scroll just kind of crumbles in her hands. And she's like, "There. It's like your friend will need a good night's rest, but she should be fine. He should be fine.
Yeah,
They
wow.
should be fine."
Like, as soon as I can see, like, Charon's, like, alive and fine and just, like, breathing, I'm just gonna, like, tackle him, just hug. I'm just gonna, like, hug.
Now, on to more gruesome parts.
I'm just gonna
Uh,
sit down.
What
He's gonna
did
be right
you
beside
want
us,
done
just
with the
holding.
head of the
I'm
queen?
not letting go of you. No,
Just
not again.
it's like this.
Do you want us to
like,
just
I-
destroy it?
So yes, I would prefer something like this just destroyed. It is too dangerous to leave lying around, or like the state of your friend is proof enough. I doubt that you would go to such lengths to try to deceive us.
Okay.
No, the body, that's not enough. Okay, never mind.
Well, we got the head. I wouldn't take the entire body. That would be
Whatever.
stupid.
You know what I'm talking
The
about.
body could be anybody.
Yeah. Technically, this could be any random Medusa. Just come
Yeah.
across a Medusa and be like,
You know.
oh, well, let's just pretend this was the queen. But yeah. So, in that case,
You should have just brought a statue head back and be like, she was a Medusa. We turned her to stone.
I will,
Deception
I guess.
check. Success. Done.
I guess I'll, go away after we're done here. I'll go away and, destroy it.
Yep.
Stabbies.
Just get out a big hammer and just
I'll
start
destroy it.
smashing it.
I've got.
I'll help
All
ya.
3 of us will do that.
Listen,
I
I've
don't
got
You
like
guys are just kicking this head around like a soccer ball.
I've got a lightsaber.
fuck this head.
I just want to do it
Burn
because I'm
it.
angry.
Dusty
Don't
just
worry.
looks confused with this whole situation. He's like, I don't know.
Did you get my diamond back?
Like I was gonna give that to you later tonight when we were like calmer. But I was like, yeah.
You see that it's like on a big chain around Pyro's neck. Wearing it like bling. He's like, no.
Literally-
But she had this. But I did find this
Literally
crazy diamond necklace on
Second
the
thought
walk
after
back.
coming back. Your second thought coming back was, did you get my diamond?
I'm gonna feel like
I'm trying
you would
to.
want it. I was like,
I'm trying
I
to
I know.
not be upset.
Freak out.
So Ashara tells you that
It's
rest
probably
rest
not
for the
really.
night. I will cast. It's like I will cast the ritual. I will cast the ritual for you first thing, like as soon as dawn breaks. Unless there's something else you wish to tell me.
Yeah. My
Unless
mouth is
Pyro
shut.
breaks
Pyro,
first?
not Jafar.
Yeah, Pyro, not Jafar.
Yep.
Pyro.
So you guys are able to rest and relax for the rest of your evening. You do notice, Pyro, that you hear like the other Aarakocra. They seem to keep like telling you behind your, or like saying behind your back, like they keep referring to you as the princess's champion, and
I'm just
and the princess's
ignoring them.
betrothed. You keep
I'm
hearing people call you that, like, but not to your face.
ignoring them. I'm just
You-
It's like
stone
that's
faced, like, I don't
that's
give
the
a fuck.
princess's betrothed.
Don't face.
What
I do
else?
that.
Yeah, sorry.
You
Of course
Slew
it
the
works.
demon queen of Omu, and
Wacky.
Hmm?
What's something that Princess's champion would do? Like,
Completely
come back
ignore
from the
Kill
dead as a
the
ghost to
threat to
defend
her?
her to like the death.
yeah, kill the threat to her? In the form of a Medusa? Jeez, that's pretty championish.
I don't
Yep.
want to talk right now.
I was talking to you, not to Sharon.
So
Like, I'm just gonna point out too, Cass. I'm just like, Cass, you're the one who actually killed it, by the way. So,
you all helped.
champion.
Everybody helped. So shortly before the morning, like shortly before dawn, Nafir comes and wakes you guys up and leads you back to sort of a balcony on at the monastery where Ashara spends all of her time. There, Ashara stands there waiting, and 5 other. Yes. So you see several other Aarakocra that are sort of standing in a circle around Ashara, who's sort of standing in the middle on this like big balcony at the top of the monastery, and she sort of like waves you over. You can see that she's got like a mortar and pestle, and she seems to be like grinding some black substance in the mortar and pestle.
That's probably the flower. The black flower.
Flower.
So
Where's Azaka?
Zaka, oh yeah, she's with you. At some point during the evening, she's like, "Hey, you guys came back.
Yeah.
What happened?" And she's like, "Geez, you guys are stupid. Why'd you go back there? Why didn't you just bring back a statue head and say it was her?"
Sharon got really stoned.
So Azaka
I
is
sure
with you
did.
guys again.
By the way,
I would have
the poison.
smashed the drugs too, by the way.
No,
while
I
was
want the
taking my
drugs.
rest.
I want
I
the
want the
drugs.
drugs.
Jez is
I
going to be the
would've
new
smashed them. If you
Lawage.
could've-
No, it's not for me.
Technically, Dado found the drugs. So what happens to the drugs is up to Dado.
I just left him. I wasn't touching him.
there you go.
I just
Okay.
left him.
Did you want them or have I smashed them, Jez?
You guys
Well,
can
I
roll
was
for
gonna-
it.
Sure.
Both of you
What is
give
it?
me an initiative
Which-
roll.
Retroactively roll to see.
Roll
Retro-
initiative. Whoever rolls the higher initiative gets to choose what happened to the drugs.
That means
Right.
it's gonna be
Close,
Jez.
roll
Give me
20.
one of those. I could use some happiness right now.
Well, I don't want to use them. I want to use them as, like...
Not
Duck
you,
and roll.
Dado.
You leave him there.
You
I-
had
I
left them there. This was
I would
after.
have used them
And that
as...
is exactly
uh,
what happened.
I would have used them as ways to get around people. Not for myself.
So technically, Jez beats out Pyro in the argument of what happened to the drugs retroactively. So Jez is in possession of, I think I said 8 vials of drugs.
Yeah.
8 doses of drugs. So
Wait, can I
you
cast
guys
animation
crowd up in
without
front of
shooting?
Ashara. She asks if you're ready.
Like more than.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are like
I
an
give a fuck about
entire
this
session
jungle.
ready. Like an entire session too many ready to go.
Yeah, we
So-
were ready last
So
10
she,
days ago.
you see her, like she's done grinding the orchid that you fetched for her into a fine powder in the mortar and pestle. And she then sort of like holds it to like her beak and deeply inhales the powder. And then the other Aarakocras begin to chant,
He's getting
begin to
haiku.
chant like some sort of strange prayer, and then Ashara begins to sort of like dance strangely around you. You're all sort of like tightly grouped in the middle, and she starts dancing around you in a circle while all these other Aarakocra chant. And after a few minutes of this, you see the feathers on her wings start to molt and like fall off onto the floor. And slowly, like, her wings begin to sort of decay and, like, fade away until, like, when she finally stops in front of you, her wings have basically completely fallen off. Like, they're just gone. She has no wings whatsoever anymore.
Is this very horrifying?
A little
Do they
bit.
still have hands, or like are they just gone?
Well, no, because they have arms and legs and wings.
Oh, okay.
So, like, the big wings on her back are just gone now. They just melted away, and there's just feathers all over the floor in like a big circle around you. And you see her, she sort of like gasps and like tries to catch her breath. One of the other Aarakocra try to like come and help her, and she's kind of like stops them. And she looks up at you and says, "It is done.
Did those grow
You
back?
have 3 days before the enchantment wears off. It's like, go. Do what you came to this land to do, and save it from, save it from this soulmonger."
Let's go.
I'm the first one out the door.
Yeah, so you guys all find that you have the
Say goodbye
power
to
of
fear.
flight. You can essentially fly at your walking speed of 30 feet. So if you did a move action, you'd still only be able to move 30 feet, but you could move like 30 feet straight up.
Whatever direction you want.
Yeah. So it's like an even better... Dado, like, this is kind of second nature to Dado, but he's like, this is even better levitate.
Really good levitate that I don't need to focus on at all.
Nope.
And
It's better
lasts
than
way
flying.
longer.
So, we're headed to the swamp to the west.
Yep.
To the heart of Uptown.
Yeah, you've...
Which way is west now?
Well, I think this monastery
West is the
faces
left.
Okay.
That's
just,
not
I
it.
just wanted to make sure, like, it wasn't like north is that way now or something.
No, this is a real map.
Okay.
The west is that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're headed into this big black hole.
Oh no! I don't know exactly where it is. Quick!
I mean,
I need a
she
map.
pointed us to the swamp, right?
Yeah, so, yeah. She basically told you to, like, fly
here, remember.
towards... It's not so much swamp as it is,
Wasteland.
yeah,
I couldn't remember the
that's
words.
probably a best thing for it. I don't even remember where you find photos on this stupid thing. God, I don't know Android whatsoever at all. Android sucks. There's my map. There's my map of Caholt. Ah, the Aldani Basin is what she told you it was called. So it is just a big basin. So, you guys begin to fly. You guys spend most of the day. It takes you like a full day. You essentially are only able to fly 4 miles an hour.
4 miles an hour.
That's what 30 walking speed ends up equaling out to. So you're able to
be free.
you basically fly till the sun comes down and you're kind of
You're
exhausted.
not flapping.
No.
You have the fly spell, so you're just moving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just kind of just standing there moving.
Yeah, you're basically just like horizontal going wee.
I'm probably
Like
Superman.
Goku. You fly like Goku. So you guys get to yeah, fuck it. I'll fix these squares later. Aha. I'll cut the hexes out later.
We're going further into undead territory too.
That's not where it is. It's over here. So yeah, you guys just head directly west. Here we go. So you guys fly directly west. Eventually, night falls. You start getting tired. You end up camping.
Firefinger again.
Yeah.
Hey, you found another Firefinger. First thing in the morning when you get up, you make it to sort of the edge of the tree line, and you see off in the distance like a rock. There's a little speck floating in the sky, and as you approach it, you find that I was not actually on the page that I thought I was on. You find Hrackhammer. That'd be cool. So you see a massive chunk of earth and rock torn from the earth drifting over the swampy forest, about 100 feet above the ground. A petrified tree towers above the stone with its stone roots protruding from the bottom. Between the shape of the rock and the branching of the tree limbs, it creates the impression of a gigantic stone heart hanging in the sky. The impression is only made more gruesome by the red liquid dripping from the roots. You see a cave mouth in the side of the slowly rotating heart, and a staircase winding from the cave up to the flattened top where the petrified tree stands. The staircase definitely isn't natural. It was carved with tools into the rock. And... Yeah. It looks like this. The Heart of Ubtao. So you guys are floating probably like a couple of 100 feet out, and you see this big rock just slowly rotating in the sky. Looks like a big heart.
It does look like a big heart. Hence the name.
It's got a cave just inside of it.
So we know that there is a...
Elven witch, or
Yeah, an elven
sorceress
witch in
of some kind here.
You want to talk magic with her? All we need to do is find out where Omu is.
Well, you talking to me?
I was talking
Probably
to Dusty.
Dusty.
Probably talking to Pyro, the
Say again?
Yeah.
magic user.
Do you want to talk magic with her to find, like, to charm her into telling us where Omu is?
Who am I talking to?
The Elven
Elven
Witch
Witch.
that lives in the heart of Uptown.
Oh.
That's why we're here, so we can finally know where Omu is and go there.
This one you were around for. You just you just missed all the Nangalore stuff.
Okay. See here.
You were told by old bird lady that there's some woman elf sorceress person that lives in this heart, and she would know where Omu is. And she's kind of your guys' best chance at finding finding exactly where the city is. While you were gone, they got the general location of it from the Queen, from Zelcore, but she sort of came... She was around long before there were properly charted maps, so she doesn't... Showing her a map was like, oh... But she was able to give you guys, like, a general location. So you have, like, a zone of where Omu should be, but...
Right. I guess I didn't write down her name. I wrote down, like, every other effing name.
Yeah, you didn't know what her name was.
Oh, okay. I wrote down, like, so many names last time.
You may have to ask what her name is when you meet her. Oh, shut up, cat.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I can do that. Charm. I don't think I have any charm. Wait, you want me to charm?
I don't think.
No, we just want you to
literally.
talk to her.
Yeah.
Oh.
They want you to just be charming.
Oh,
Just be your-
They're
Okay,
expecting that
fine.
you be able to talk shop with her because you're a magic person.
Fine, that's fine, yeah.
Like,
I thought you wanted me to do
can
like
you believe the
something crazy,
prices
and I
of
was
magic
like,
things these days? Back in my day.
Is she... Refresh my memory here.
She's an
Is
elf,
I know she's an elf.
and she's in this heart, and that's as much as you guys know.
That's all we know. Okay.
Yeah, and she knows magic, which is
knows
probably
magic.
how she ended up
knows
in the
where
heart.
Omu
We don't know if she's like neutral or like evil or anything. She a friend of the bird people.
No, the bird people just, well, the main bird person just knew that she existed. She'd heard stories.
It was
Jump
more,
back down to the floor so you can meow at me some more?
It was more that you have common ground with her. And
Right.
the fact that you both are magic people. And yeah.
For all we know, she could
Also-
just hate you. So
She might
Also,
hate all
you're
of
probably
you.
both old.
She might love all of you. They're also hoping that
Think
she'll
about that.
fall in love with you because, like, 2 other people have already gotten people.
That worked out so well for me.
Okay. Well,
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
now
we're
it's just
probably
one
gonna
of
go
us.
up, and I'm gonna ask like, "Where's Omu?" And then she's gonna be like, "Well, you gotta do something for me," and then,
You gotta suck my dick.
yeah.
It's like, you need to murder all of your friends, and then I will divine it with their blood. So you guys are now currently
Okay.
just floating. You've just been
So-
floating
Yeah,
in
okay,
midair,
let's
staring
go.
at this thing for the last 15, 20
I was
minutes.
just kind of seeing if you wanted to take point in this fact-finding mission. But, I mean... Yeah.
All right, let's land.
Okay. So, I'm assuming you're going into the cave.
Yes.
That seems to be the only
Left ventricle?
the only cave.
the
Yeah.
only cave, the one cave. So, yeah, you guys sort of land at the mouth of the cave. As you sort of step inside, you find that the cave is musty and dimly lit by daylight filtering down through a hollow petrified tree trunk 20 feet above. A pool of dirty rainwater occupies the central 20 feet of the floor between natural pillars formed by the roots of the petrified tree. 3 tall bookcases stand against the wall to the right of the cave entrance. A desk and several wooden crates stand against the left-hand wall. Opposite the entrance are 2 doorways into smaller chambers, and between them a large iron cage. And you sort of looking to the left, you see a sort of blonde-haired woman sort of sitting at a desk. And she sort of, she hasn't acknowledged your presence yet. She seems to be just, like, going through scrolls and, like, flipping through books. As you all sort of stand in her doorway.
is there something we can knock on? Just like
No, there's no
Hello?
door.
She's just.
You
sitting
could knock
at
on the
desk.
rock, but it wouldn't really do anything.
I'll clear my throat
like
rather loudly.
Does she look like the person that we're looking for?
She's
In
in
any
the
sort
heart.
of. She's what?
she's in
She,
the
This place.
heart.
from here you can tell that she's female. Her hair
The only
kind of
way-
hides any elven features that she might have, and she is sitting at a desk, like, facing away from you.
The only way to get up here is through magic or with wings.
Okay, well, there could be multiple people up here. That's
She
what-
could jump really high, too. Maybe she's got 100... Maybe her athletic score is so high that she can just jump 100 feet in the air.
He's a
No,
weird grasshopper.
it's real good.
To get her attention, I'm just gonna clear my throat really loudly.
You
hack up a
hear
pebble?
her say, "Yes, I know you're there. I was wondering how long you was before you stopped standing in my doorway and came in,
There's no door.
or at least introduced yourselves." She says all this without even like turning to face you. She continues to pour over.
Did she sound older, younger? How'd she sound?
She sounded
Elven.
yeah, fairly youngish.
Thank you, geniuses.
Yeah,
Okay.
she wasn't like she definitely wasn't like come in, Sonny.
Right. Yeah.
She did talk with a sort of graceful, youthful voice.
I will
I-
announce myself
listen,
as
we'll
Khan
Lady,
Terwin, Dusty, Jafar Basha,
Lady Cassiopeia,
Lady
Lorelei
Cassiopeia,
Gwendolyn.
Lorelei Gwendolyn, Isabella Harpel of the Long Saddle Harpels.
Yes.
Introduction's done.
The
I
more
was
people
gonna, I
I
was
get
gonna
saying it,
walk
the better.
in and say that, make it not weird, but okay.
Are you guys continuing to still stand in the doorway while you're saying all this?
I would have
We'll
walked
step
I
out.
don't know what they're
forward.
doing.
Okay.
I'm walking forward.
So, you guys kind of like walk through the big puddle that's like her, essentially her like main entranceway. She slowly
float,
rises
right?
from the
We'll
desk
float.
and turns to face you, and she says, "It's like my name is Valindra Shadowmantle." And she kind of like takes a second to sort of take all of you in. She like slowly kind of like looks all of you over.
I
And,
just like start writing in a book, and as soon as she sees me, I just
Blinder what?
put it
Shadow
away.
handle?
Shadow.
Shadow
Shadow
mantle.
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 Dado mantle.
Dado
That's weird.
mantle. She looks like that. So,
They really don't make anyone
Oh.
look not evil in these books.
she's got bags under her eyes. She's tired.
Yeah.
So,
It's almost like she never has to sleep.
she says, like, it's not very often I receive visitors up here in the heart of Ubtao. You are definitely not ordinary adventurers, are you? In fact, you seem to not really be from around here. And she just kind of like looks at
Except for Azaka.
yeah, she looks at Azaka and she's like, well, you certainly have the local flavor to you.
Oh,
And then she
Jesus.
kind of
Oh,
She's
okay.
racist.
and she just kind of like disregards Azaka. She's like, it's like your pale skin tells me you're from the north, from somewhere in perhaps the Sword Coast or Eastern Faerun. It's like,
I
tell
don't
me, where
think-
where
I
are
don't
you
think
from?
Jafar is pale skinned though.
Well, if he's from the north, he'd be pale-ish.
Yeah.
It's not really dark, like super dark-skinned people in the north. There's no
From
red
the
guards
Dales,
in
he's
the.
pale-ish.
The dark people are from Kalimshan and south
I
of
was
that.
kidnapped, and I ended up over there.
That's fair.
But
Well, I grew up there. I may not hail from there, I guess.
regardless.
Like, yes, we are from the Sword Coast.
We're all from the north.
Yes.
Except for our guide Azaka.
She says, I miss the north. This jungle
You and me both.
This jungle wears upon me. It's been almost 15 years since I stepped foot in northern Faerun.
What prevents you from going back?
It's like, I have a job to do here. I cannot leave until it is finished.
And what
Okay.
would that be?
She's like, well, I take it that you have some purpose here too. You seem to be an awfully long way from home.
You could say that.
I sure hope our job does not take 15 years.
That would suck.
That's almost twice my age.
Give me insight checks. Anybody that cares.
I
Alright.
care.
Oh my, continuing the trend apparently.
I care, but I'm going to roll lower
Sure.
than everyone.
Penis.
I will. It's subtle, but Pyra, you can see that she seems to like. She's looking at all of you and kind of addressing all of you. She seems to be basically ignoring Azaka. She doesn't seem to give a damn about Azaka like whatsoever. The way she speaks of like her longing for the North and her disdain for this place, you imagine she doesn't have a lot of love for the Chultan people. But you do see that she's like looking. She spends more time looking at Dusty than anybody else, and like when she thinks none of you are looking,
Oh.
she kind of like gives him like occasional glances,
He's
extra
in on it.
glances.
Is he still wearing the red wizard robes?
Oh.
The Thayan robes, he sure is.
Yep.
Like
Bland.
looking at him like
Oh.
oh shit kind of looking, or looking at him just like ugh.
No, all you were able to catch is like the that she's like glancing at him a little bit more than the rest of you.
Mm.
But other than that, her face is just a stone like poker face. Like you're getting nothing off of it.
Aren't just for my recollection, they and
Don't
wizards
say
have bald
Don't say
heads,
she has
right?
a stone picker face.
Yeah.
For the most part,
Brings up PTSD.
So Dado
And
doesn't
I'm
have a bald
I'm
head.
not bald.
that is
No.
true. But I mean, it's not inconceivable that a Thayan wizard's not born bald.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's just the high-ranking ones
Yeah.
and the dead ones.
Did she ever say what her job was? No.
Nope. She did not. She's like,
I mean,
so. It's like,
I
where,
asked.
where in the North are you all from?
Long saddle.
Neverwinter.
Neverwinter.
She's like, Neverwinter. I spent many a time in the Neverwinter and Luskin areas. You know,
Oh yeah, how'd you like it?
I liked it a great deal more than this place. I was there for the Neverwinter Civil War. That was the last time I was in that fair city before I had to return back home and was eventually shipped off here. I really wish to conclude my business here so that I may
Quick question.
return. I have an old friend there I would very much like to see again.
Quick question: was
So
the
do
Civil
I.
War the dragon thing?
Now you can ask her about it, or you can make a history check.
I'm trying to get to the. I'll history check it.
I just don't know.
So you know that Neverwinter's Civil War was shortly after Dagult Neverember took power, and a man claiming to have the blood of the king and like the royal family came along, and a big civil war broke out between Neverember and the eventual king Orn Than. The winner of which was Orn Than, as he was able to prove his claim to the throne, and that he was the blood of Nashar Alagondar, and he became king of Neverwinter and pushed
Was that big?
Neverember out.
That was before, or that was after some idiots killed his son and brought him a book, right?
No, that was way before that. That was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
The adventures that you're thinking of happened like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Like 2 years ago now because of the time jump.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, I feel like it's been a little bit longer than that too.
No,
Yes.
it was pretty fast-paced.
She's like, yes, I had. It's like I feel like I would like to visit the city again now that things have calmed down.
I would ask her like, oh, who's your friend over there? Maybe we know him.
She's like, I met a young vagabond named Orn Than. I assisted him in acquiring a lost family heirloom, a relic.
She mentions Ortham.
She's like, yes, I helped him acquire a relic known as the Crown of Neverwinter.
Is she stuttering out of distaste or
No, you can
stuttering out of
you can see she's
her
yeah,
speech
you
patterns?
feel like she's trying to pick the appropriate word for what she's trying to
Yeah.
convey,
Yeah.
Okay.
to the point of it's like maybe it was helping acquire is like, yeah,
Stole.
technically that's true.
Right.
I'll smile and be like, we are, like, I served in his army for quite some time. Like, I've served beside him. I've fought beside King Orin Than. He's a fun man to stand beside.
She's like, yes, I did enjoy our time together, but perhaps when you return home, you should ask him of it. He is far better storyteller than I am.
He is very great at
I
telling
know I'm gonna
stories.
do that.
So,
I mean, he's gonna do
but
that. I will listen.
I digress. What exactly brings you to my home here?
We are in search of a thing we believe called the Soulmonger. We believe it is located in Omu. We are here to destroy it.
So
It is prevent.
you see a very brief kind of flit of recognition in her eyes when you mention the soulmonger. Just kind of like a little. Your insight check's high enough that you see a little like twitch in her, like, oh, it's like I know what that, like some kind of hint of recognition to what you're saying.
Like, I'm gonna continue. I'll see it and I'll keep going as well. I'm not gonna stop talking just because I see it. I'm gonna like, we are here on a mission to destroy it. We believe it is preventing people from being revived.
So she tells you that yes, I have heard of such a thing. It is tied to the reason I am here as well. So what is it? What is it that you exactly need from me?
We need the location of Omu. We were told that you may know exactly where it is.
She tells you, is like, yes, I do know the location of the city of Omu.
But
It's like, first you must complete 7 quests.
Collect 10 bear asses.
I need you to retrieve a red orchid from the nearby. She tells you, it's like, she says, I will make you a deal. I am looking as well for the soulmonger. I will give you the location of the city of Omu, but I would like you to consider something else. Instead of destroying it, I would like you to turn it over to me. I have been tasked with finding it and sealing it away so that its effects can no longer be so that it can no longer affect any of the living or anyone that has fallen under its curse. But destroying it is
I want to
a
insight
short.
check her on that.
Okay.
Nope.
I'll give it to you with like your earlier insight check. You believe that she is telling you the truth, that she does not want it destroyed.
Destroying it is a
But,
temporary
like-
solution. Why?
She
I
says, well,
think-
she says destroying it is a short-sighted solution. There's much we could learn by studying something like this and the manner with which it was created. Never before have we come across an object or whatever this thing is that could, affect the entire world such as this. Studying it could create ways to prevent something like this from being created again. It would also give us insight into who exactly created this in the first place and why. Simply destroying it would be a loss of great knowledge. So
And what happens
I will help you, but I would like you to consider, instead of destroying it, to turn it over to me.
And what
You
happens
ear-
if the
you
person
said
we steal
earlier-
this from gets it
You
back?
earlier? Never mind, sorry.
She says, believe me. It's like, once we have taken it from him, there will be no way that he gets it back from us.
Who said
from
that
who is
Who's he?
us?
She says, myself and my associates. She says, we all answer to somebody. Someone has sent you on this quest as as I
You
have
know,
been
at this
sent
point,
by
I'm not even sure anymore.
my bosses.
Yeah, he wasn't sent here. He was just here.
Yeah,
He was just here.
that's true. So,
Is there anything on her person that I could investigate that would maybe give a sense of who she could be working with? Heinous.
yeah, you kind of glance her up and down. You kind of get the sense that maybe she's been like looking at you pretty good too. Like maybe you guys have kind of got a thing. Like you're old.
God.
She's an elf, so she could be really old. Like she could be like 300.
Yeah.
For all you know. She's at least old enough to been able to run around 15 years ago, so she's at least middle aged.
Yeah, we know she's at
Maybe
least
maybe
of
she's got a
age
thing for old humans.
of consent.
He's at least my age.
There you go. So yeah, no, she's dressed fairly commonly. Like she's got like a sort of a nice robe, but she's dressed pretty much like an elf, like an elven wizard would be. She's not really. There's no sigils. There's no crimson Thayan robes or anything that like stands out. She seems
not
to be
bald.
just. Yeah, she's not bald. She's not big tattoos on her head. Yeah, no, she looks like your typical elf.
Why do they always draw
Elf
them with
brand
smoke
elf.
coming off?
I think that's supposed to be a tree.
Yeah, the last one looked like just a tree too.
I mean, if
At
at the bottom, it looks like it's all feathers. So
Oh,
Yeah.
she's just shoulders on like like the rest of her's invisible.
So, yeah, we can't promise that we won't destroy it because while it is short-sighted, I don't know how long sealing it away would take. And I don't think the long-term answer will stop its effects quick enough. There are people already dying.
She tells you, I understand that, but the knowledge we would gain from such a thing could save thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives.
The knowledge can also be used to make another one.
It's like, why would we make another one if we still had this
Not
one?
you.
She says, believe me, the thought of, interrupting the flow of death, natural death, is not something I think anyone in this world wishes for.
I think there's a group of red-robed people that do.
She's like, I believe you. I believe you are referring to the Thayans. And
Yeah.
she kind of like, you see her kind of like half like glance over at Dusty when she says it. She says,
What do
they.
you think? You think me? No.
She's,
No, this is just. Listen. I got lost in the jungle for like 4 months, and I was naked for a lot of the time, and they had my stuff, cause we. Okay, before that, we were chasing some other. And okay, so yeah, so we were dealing with some other folk, and I was it was naked.
We
And then
killed
they had
some
my
wizards
stuff,
for
and
it.
then it was all that I had, and the sun was just, it was just leather, and I just needed to put some on.
Yeah, I just, as he's talking, I explained to her we killed wizards for it. We've
Part
had
of
encounters with them in the past.
she's
part
like,
of what we were doing ended us up in the I want to call it the Shadow Realm,
the Shadowfell.
the Shadowfell,
I
and
forget.
I don't know, and it was all to do with the Soulmonger, and we came across the Thayans. So I think they have a little bit of a part to it. I'm not sure how much.
She's kind of like glances at all of you, and she's like do not worry. I don't really take you for Thayans. You do not seem like, the type of people that, the Red Wizards would associate with. And believe me, I
don't know if that's a
understand.
compliment.
They're also not known to gift their regalia to outsiders. So I assumed that you took this by force. But yes, even the wizards, the Red Wizards of Thay, they believe strongly in the powers of necromancy, but such a thing as the Soulmonger would disrupt even their powers. It is unknown what it might even, if it might even have an effect on the Grand Liches that run Thay and the Red Wizards. Those such as Zaz Tam, you know,
He
more than
did.
Good old Zazzer.
So they might be vulnerable right now.
Zazatron.
it's like there's a good chance that they would probably be as likely to want to see a rid of this thing as anyone else. Which again which again hammers in my point that like nobody wants this thing to exist. So sealing it away, destroying it, while they may lead to the same thing, destroying it, we learn nothing. At least saving it and sealing it away, we might learn something. And maybe we can stop whoever created it from making another. If
But
they
I
created
feel
this
like-
one, there's no reason they cannot create another.
I feel like you already know who created it. But you did call it a him.
She said, well, most great wizards and magic
That's pretty
creators are men.
Sexist.
She says,
That's
unfortunately, in the time we
so-
live in, female wizards only make 82% of what the male wizards make.
There was-
Perhaps if we save the Soulmonger, we can even that wage gap. So I have pamphlets if you'd like to take them with you.
I'll take one of those, thank you.
It's like she tells you, it's like you I know you
You're
have your
already
mind
good.
set on this. I only wish that you take time and think it over. I will give you the
will-
location of Omu either way.
We will consider our options there.
I'll-
I still can't guarantee it will be to seal it away. But if we need help from your friends, then, or from you, then it will probably have to be sealed away if we can't destroy it.
I'm gonna ask her just like how big is the soulmonger that like we can just like because in my head it's like a giant like thing.
She tells you that
Giant
that's it's like, unfortunately that I do not know.
Like you're
Our-
asking
Our
us,
most
like,
powerful diviners were only able to come up with a name and a location. That it was somewhere on Cholt, perhaps in the city of Omu. She tells you
Yeah.
that
Like,
yeah, that's all she knows. I thought she was going to give you more info, but that is what she knows. She tells you that yes, it is hidden away somewhere in Omu, and it is the Soulmonger. That is all we've even been able to divine. Believe me, if I had more information on it, I
they would
would
have it by now.
I would be acting upon it. So that's where Omu is.
Got it, guys.
Where was it?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Good
down
thing we
there.
can travel. How long is it? A day?
It's been a day. You're in like the
Okay.
second day. It's like morning of the second day. If you feel like you could probably like once you're done with her, if you guys just
book it.
book it,
Okay.
you could make it to like the outskirts of Omu by the time this thing wears off. You'd be cutting it real close, but
Yeah.
heart
Yeah.
of
We'll have to fly
Tau.
low so that we don't fall too far.
Says if you are going to Omu, know that it is a dangerous place. The 1T there. Follow the heretic not Zaztam. Raznisi. They have control of the city.
I feel like we've heard that name.
We've been told
Many
about it.
times.
Yeah. Necessary threat. Have there been other people there? Like, are we likely to run into your friends?
She tells you that's like it's like if I am waiting for more information. I do not want to just blindly send people to their deaths if I can avoid it. That's
Well,
what I have you for now.
Is there any way that we could have something that you have to parlay with anyone that we might find that might be your friends? I don't want to, like, get there and get in a fight and you'd be like, no, these are the good guys.
What?
She tells you, it's like, don't worry. You do not have to worry about anything like that.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask her, like, should we decide to save and, like, rather not destroy the soul marker? How do we get back in touch with you? Getting up here is kind of a limited time thing that we can do.
Chain cast levitate.
Yeah, you can visit your girlfriend anytime.
Yeah. Yeah, she kind of looks at the Thayan wizard standing there. He's like, I'm sure your friend here can come up with something.
You overestimate my abilities, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
But she goes over. You see her sort of like walk over, and oop. She walks over to like a little wooden box on her desk and sort of starts like going through some.
Does it have nautical designs on it?
It does not have nautical designs on it.
It has a pale blue bird on it, facing right.
Is this the one a spell I'm looking for? So she walks back with a scroll,
Yes, message.
a small. She hands like a spell scroll to Dusty, and says that like this is a sending scroll inscribed to me. You can use this to send a message to me directly. Like this is my number.
Dusty sliding into those DMs.
Yep.
Can I just say, sending is you send a short message of 25 words or less.
Yeah, such this is my Twitter.
You can.
Okay.
Right.
Have it
We out
written
of
down.
things to ask.
But really does have a little blue bird on it.
Yeah.
Um,
If there's
I don't
nothing
think
else,
so.
this is just sort of out
I
of
mean,
the
you
blue.
know, we collected anything that will help us help you, right? No, we'll be on our way. We've got.
I think.
I've got something to ask, actually. It's sort of out of the blue, but you wouldn't happen to know the or the location of a man named Artis Simber, would you?
She tells you, it's like, I know of Artis Simber. My sources tell me that he is somewhere on Chult, wielding some powerful ring he stole from the Harpers. His whereabouts, unfortunately, are a mystery to everyone. But from what I hear, many people are pursuing him across this continent. Or this peninsula was probably a better way for it to put it.
Thought I might ask.
There's also some really big giants looking for him.
She's like, yes, from what I hear, many people, from the Zentarum to the Harpers themselves, to the Frost Giants, to, I'm sure, the Flaming Fist, who have taken northern Chult for themselves. Many people would like to get their hands on Artis Simber. I must confess, I am intrigued as to what this ring he carries does, and why it is so important.
Aren't we all?
If such an infamously powerful ring were to fall into my grasps, I would not complain. In fact, I would reward someone who why can't I
Delivered?
think? No, I can't even think of it. Sure, delivered. My brain just... The word in my head is just not coming out right.
Would it be ice?
No. Procured is
No?
not the word I was looking for, but it's like, yes, I would reward handsomely anyone who procured such a thing for me. Something to keep in mind in your travels, in case you do happen to come upon this artist Simber and manage to part him from this ring.
Part him from this ring sounds violent. Just saying. Me, not Jafar.
I feel like he would also love people not trying to kill him too.
Well, you also figure that he probably isn't going to, like, just give it up if he ran all the way to
No.
Cholt to hide with it. That it's not going to be like, oh, you want it? Oh, sure.
Here you go.
I mean, you rolled an 18 on persuasion, so I guess I got to give it to
Really
you.
Got my hands
My-
tied behind my back here.
Yeah, my hands are
except for
tied.
this one with the ring in it.
All you need to do is just cut the finger off with the ring and just run away.
My precious.
What if the ring grows back ring fingers
Then I guess you're screwed.
made of ice?
What if a new artist Simber grows back from the decapitated finger? Not decapitated, but the removed finger. Instead of like an
Anyway.
arm growing back,
I
a whole
believe
person
her.
grows back from the finger.
Finish then.
Any more questions for the nice magic lady?
You mean Dada's girlfriend?
That his girlfriend?
Well, that was in character. I wouldn't say Dada's
Oh.
girlfriend.
I'm about done.
Orin Than's old buddy and pal?
He sure has the savory ones.
I'll be like, in case we don't see
It's
you
not my
again,
fault Wizards of the
anything
Coast
you
keep
want us
putting
to
all his
tell
companions into the
Lauren
game.
then? You want us to pass on a message?
She's like, no, either way, if you seem quite capable. If you're successful, then, even if you do not abide my message and keep the soulmonger, at least if it is destroyed, my work here will be done. And I can finally leave this horrid place.
I'm gonna
Oh,
look over
this
at
is over
Azaka real quick, just see how she feels about that. Just
Yeah,
a
she-
glance. And
She's like not
offended.
like after she's kind of like waiting by the door. Like after she got like basically like cussed out like the first time, she basically kind of walked away and she figured she was not part of this conversation, so she's just kind of waiting by the door.
Yeah, I don't think she wants to deal with a racist.
She's probably just been like lurking, keeping an eye on things in case like she tried to kill you guys and she had to help you fight. Other than that, she's just been standing aside.
Listen, I'm sure we won't have to come back here and kill her.
Yeah. I say something.
Would you like to tell her about the princess?
No. No one else needs to know about the
You do
princess.
you
The
do
princess
figure
is
that
just-
it doesn't seem like she would really give a damn about the princess.
Nobody should.
Wow. That's
I
harsh.
think all Choltons should. Because having a leader is a good thing. Because then there's some order.
I mean, I guess the only thing that she could possibly do is kick out the
Let's just go.
Flaming Fist.
The only other leader we've met was a fucking Medusa. So I'm not exactly
Maybe they're all
happy about the
Medusas.
royalty here.
Like,
Yeah.
once they turn of age, they become Medusas.
We
Let's
just
get out.
that'd
Let's
be
get out
actively
here.
kill
I-
That'd
the
be
princess?
interesting.
Anyone? Anyone?
I'm done. I probably would have been the first to go join Azaka at the door.
So,
Yeah.
she's like,
Thank
well,
you for the
he's like,
information.
well, you know your way out. I have many things to attend to. And then she just kind of like she doesn't even wait for all of you to leave. She just kind of like
Mhm.
turns around and starts
Well,
walking back to
she's
her
not
desk.
really going to close the door behind us.
I will float over the puddle
Yep.
as I can. Like I am utilizing this flight as much as I can.
Oh, I probably am the same height as you
Yeah.
right now.
You guys, yeah, I'm certain you guys are all just floating like an inch off the ground at all times.
Hey, if you cast haste on us, will we go faster? Will I go faster, anyways?
One of you would go faster for a minute.
Yeah,
Turns to
literally
haste.
1 minute.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look up something.
I'm very eager to get our work finished here.
Yep.
We're on our way to get it finished. As we wave goodbye to
Oh,
the
okay. You
slightly
actually have to.
creepy but nice magic lady.
I'm
Yeah.
probably not doing anything.
Yeah, she definitely does seem pretty creepy and self-centered.
She's nice but racist. So,
Well, you think it's not just racist, that she's got this weird air of superiority and
yeah, that's
This is-
racism.
just
So
deep.
she's an elf.
Well, and perhaps
Hey,
some kind of deep,
listen.
powerful
Elf.
sorcerer.
Listen,
You're half
Who said it's gonna be half elf? It's
half
okay.
narcissistic. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, I would say you guys think it's not narcissism, that it's something else.
No,
like
Okay.
like the. It's not just like I'm the best. It's more like you are so far
Smug.
beneath me.
Yeah.
No, Sharon is narcissistic.
Okay, if you guys have nothing more
I'm-
for the lovely Valindra
I'm
Shadowmantle.
a mirror when we get back to Nanzar.
I want a
got
mirror
nothing.
shield. Can I get a mirror shield?
I'm sure one of you guys could have created a mirror from like prestidigitation, or not prestidigitation, but
That would only last 6 seconds.
minor illusion or something like that.
You can't illusion a mirror.
Oh yes,
Oh, you can't.
one of us could
No.
have.
Oh.
Just like you can't really illusion shadows or stuff like that. Or your illusions don't have
Oh.
shadows.
You guys bid farewell to the lovely elven lady. In her dank cave.
Actual appropriate use of the word dank. in
I think dank is in the book. Yeah,
world first.
Valindra isn't bothered by how dank and uncomfortable the cave is. Dank and
It'll
uncomfortable.
be even more dank. These poisons.
So, you guys check your map, get your bearings. You fly for the rest of the day.
As the day
You guys
goes on,
basically punch
probably
it.
lower.
You realize, you chart it out on your map, cartography it all up.
Probably be landed. Because we're probably not going to fly through the night, so we'll probably be...
Well, that's what I mean.
Wake
You
up.
guys sort of figure out that if you push on as late as you possibly can, and then get up immediately, and just keep gunning it, you will reach Omu, the outskirts of the city, just before sundown, and basically just before,
Sun up, you mean?
yeah, just before sun up on the second day, right before the power wears out. So you'll have just enough time to get there. I'm just checking to see if you guys see anything of interest on the way, but you do not. So you guys spend the 2 days.
Freeze.
So you guys. So,
Not as fun anymore, we can't fly.
you guys. Yeah, you
I'm gonna
guys.
remain
Just as
floating
the sun.
until it wears off.
Yeah, basically, as the sun sort of crests, and as sunrise, I would say probably just after sunrise has finished, you feel yourselves starting to feel heavy, and your power starts to deplete, and you find yourselves just kind of slowly sinking back to earth, and you have just enough time to reach a giant canyon. You end up at the northeast edge of a city set down into a massive canyon. You're near a river, a small river that leads to a waterfall that seems to be sort of flooding part of the city. In fact, let's do this.
Ooh, man.
So, you guys end up coming in over here,
What
you
do
get-
here?
and you end up with a good view of a city that looks fairly familiar to Dusty. He can recognize a few of the landmarks as places he ended up in when he bamfed himself into this jungle. It's this is... You just come to realize, hey, this is that place I escaped from. So glad to be back. So yeah, you see that the
2
river.
months trying to get out of here. Now we're back.
Yeah, so you see that the river beside you has kind of overflowed into like a waterfall, and it seems to have flooded a good chunk of the city. You can see like steam and that rising up as you kind of glance around, and you see that the only ingress besides the massive, massive cliffs is on the exact opposite end. So you guys begin making your way around. It takes you probably a good couple hours, few hours. Actually, probably takes you a few hours as you push your way through the dense jungle, all the way around to the entrance into the city. Because as you're sort of walking around the perimeter of it and getting glances in when you can, you see that like the cliffs are 100 feet or more, and it would be a heck of a thing to try and descend down. I mean, you could jump down where you can, but like using Wacky's Featherfall, you could really jump in anywhere. But you figure that the entrance to the city is probably your best place to start, and that ends up being over on the other side. So the 5 of you make your way around as you enter sort of the first section, and sort of as you descend down the stone stairs, you see that a guardhouse stands near the entrance to the city. Arrow slits are cut into its limestone walls, and a lopsided iron portcullis hangs over the gateway, beyond which you see an open plaza. And that is where we are going to end for tonight. You all advance to 7th level for reaching the city of
My
Omu.
God.
It happened!
Thank Christ.
And that is where we're going to end things for 2017. So this is going to be our last episode for the rest of the year, because next Monday is Christmas. I really don't think we're going to do this on Christmas Day. That seems a little bit of an ask.
I will not be here.
And people are probably fucking
My
No.
birthday's next
Hungover.
week.
Hurry up with the
Christmas.
dinner, Mom! I'm going to play D&D on the
You
internet! I really don't think anybody would watch us if we did show up to play on Christmas Day. Yeah, so we won't be here Christmas Day. I doubt we're going to do this New Year's Day, because the next Monday's the 1st. Like, Dado, you're probably still out of town, aren't you? I'm assuming.
On what day?
The
New Year's
1st?
No, I will be back.
Okay, so...
I'm not gone for very long.
Oh, I figured you...
I'll be here. If we're
Yeah, like,
here
I
to-
know I'm around. If everyone's around on the 1st, like, we can discuss it, like, later on. Like, after Christmas, we can
We've got
jump in Slack and figure out if we're going to do it or not.
2
but-
weeks
yeah.
to determine.
Yeah, so we're gone for sure next week for Christmas. We may be back on the 1st. If not, we'll be back for sure on the 8th. So that is going to do it for tonight. Everybody watching, have a good Christmas or Kwanzaa or holidays or whatever. I don't even know what the rest of them
bitches.
Hanukkah, yeah.
So, yeah. Have a good holidays. Enjoy time with your families. We will see you in 2018 as we begin to explore the city of Omu at long last. Good night,
Here last
everybody.
week.